This episode of Limit Break Radio is made possible by our generous Patreon donors, including Jahar Narishma of Odin, Tara Fug of Hyperion, Vector Parcel of Sargentanus. Thank you so much for your support. If you want to support Limit Break Radio, visit patreon.com/limitbreakradio. And by Senior Sabatender Super Sticky Ticky Tape. For all your sticking needs, use the stickiest ticky tape made by Senior Sabatender himself. Senior Sabatender Super Ticky Tape is made with organic net and Chico Ticky tissue membrane. When you must have the absolute stickiest ticky tape, use Senior Sabatender Super Sticky Ticky Tape. Really, Frank? Really? A ticky tape spot? We're reduced to ticky tape?
It's the best ad that we've got in weeks. Don't complain.
You're supposed to be my manager. I deserve more than 15-second blips. I am an actor.
Johnny, it's just a few more until we get back on our feet. Trust me. All right, on to your next spot now.
All right. Attention all farmers! Is your neighbor's pumptato-kin way larger than yours? Then you need Uncle Rusty's chocobo manure? Fucking gods! I can't do this anymore! Manure? Really, manure? That's what I'm being reduced to? Unfucking believable! I'm done!
Live from Eorzea. Limit Break. With your hosts, Aniero.
Now behold the horror you have wrought.
Kahlo.
I said don't take your clothes off.
Juxtaposition.
I don't get it.
Ascalia.
Holy shit, totally forgot about him.
And Mika.
Oh my god.
LimitBreakRadio.com.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Limit Break Radio.
Take off your clothes.
Sorry, I'm really excited.
Thanks for joining us today.
Wait, whose voice is that?
It's mine. I know. I'm back. Aniero returns. LimitBreakRadio.com is the website. Twitch.tv/LimitBreakRadio. And it's a good goddamn thing that I'm back. I'm back to save this show.
And it's all of Reddit cried out in silence.
It is clear from the last 2 episodes that my presence is needed more than ever.
Or cock.
And I am here to fulfill that need. I'm so excited to be back.
Fuck and Aniero's back. Turn back on Dino Tracks.
That was from Aniero Hate Club, a.k.a. Reddit.
Awesome.
Turn back on Dino Tracks. Ouch. Thank
you for the $20. Let's kick it on over to our Eorzean studio. By the way, if you want to join us, we are in the Goblet, 5th Ward, plot number 30. Feel free to hang out with us all show if you want. Make funny faces at the camera. I understand our slam dancing pig is gone.
He's in the chat.
Oh, okay.
So maybe he'll show up at some point.
All right. If I was understanding correctly, it sounded like last episode he may have transferred servers. But anyway,
like finger blasting somebody.
Anyway,
top 10 anime betrayal all time.
Thanks for joining us today here at twitch.tv/LimitBreakRadio. I knew today was going to be a well-trafficked episode. I knew today that there were going to be lots of people tuning in to be able to hear my return, my triumphant return to Limit Break Radio.
No high five for you.
Hopefully it goes as well as the release of Bubsy 3D. Oh,
it's clear by all of the
lick my balls!
All of the reactions in chat and all of the nice messages that I've gotten through mediums like the YouTube comment section as well as Reddit that I'm needed now more than ever. So I'm excited to be back off vacation, and vacation was very fun, by the way. Thank you guys.
You brought your groupies too, because already people are talking about cutting Nika as dead weight.
What the hell? I saw that. Gosh, man, no love.
I mean, maybe they're not wrong.
No, they're not wrong, but it's still savage.
See, but here's the thing is that this is coming from our own chat room, which means that I trust that feedback far more than external sources of feedback.
It's all bad.
We're going to get to that here in a few minutes here on Limit Break Radio. But first, a couple of things to get out of the way. Patreon.com/Limit Break Radio is how the show is supported. If you wanted to believe some of the stories out there, it's also apparently how we fund getting Checkpoint on so many radio stations. Because that's how...
Easy mode.
Because that's how the business of radio works, is the content creators end up paying to be on the airwaves.
That's why radio's a real dying business.
Well, you know, if they could make that work, they actually probably would be able to turn a bit of a profit. But no, it's ad-supported, which means that we actually don't get anything for having our shows carried. We provide those stations with content, and we get the ad space. So we sell the ad space to national advertisers, and that's how we make our money off that show. So if you wanted to know what the business of radio was, that's how that works. Now, I'm not saying that there's, you know, like not 60 minutes worth of time that advertisers buy and create a show around it. I'm just saying that that's not how this show works.
Here's the problem. All the people listening know that already because they're not idiots.
Yeah, that's true. But a lot of assumptions being made over this past week about how our business is run, what we do with our money. And I just wanted to mention that when I went out to Seattle this past weekend, and went to Washington State, that was on my own dime. That was I did that with my own money, not through Limit Break Radio, not through it wasn't underwritten. It wasn't underwritten by anyone or anything. That was my own money that I was spending out there. So just so that's clear, like I'm happy to go places. I've taken what, like 5 trips this year, and most of them have been work related.
Yeah.
Whether it's E3, Fan Fest, we did
Alamo City.
Yeah, a lot of work. Alamo City Comic-Con was another one. San Diego Comic-Con being the most recent, and this one I did for me. And first of all, I want to say how much I appreciated being able to take that week off. I, of course, did stop in the stream and say hey a couple of times.
Actually, I believe what you said was Jesus Christ, and then you left.
That was
yeah.
That was that was when I heard your Final Encountercast outro. That was a little bit rocky.
It only went downhill from there.
I know it did. Because I got through maybe 15 minutes of Limit Break Radio, and I was like, all right, like I guess this is all is happening here today. So we'll talk about the last couple of episodes in a couple of minutes here on Limit Break Radio. But again, supported over at patreon.com/Limit Break Radio. If you want to help continue Limit Break Radio, as well as our other projects like Final Encountercast and Checkpoint Radio, that's done currently over at patreon.com/Limit Break Radio. We've got the postcards from Eorzea. And Kahlo, do you want to talk about the new round of postcards that are going to be coming out?
Yes. So the Kooky postcard is finished. That will actually be going out tomorrow.
Oh, so we're confirming that it's Kooky.
Yes.
All right.
We actually confirmed before, but yeah, that'll actually be going out tomorrow, so you should hopefully see it by the end of the week.
Is Senpai getting a card or no?
Yes.
Okay.
Senpai will be the next card. So if you want the Senpai card, which by the way is actually going to be a continuation of what happened in the Nika card, then make sure that you donate at least $20 to Patreon this month. So the month of August will net you a Senpai card.
That's right.
Yep. Now, we actually have recruited a longtime listener and friend of the show, Malkyria, to be our next artist.
Ooh. Okay.
Are you sure about that?
Yes, we're sure about that. You were actually the one that suggested her.
Well, don't say that on the show. Jeez.
So we're going back to the hosts now. So the next set that you are going to get is going to be a winter holiday collection of the hosts.
I thought it was assorted holidays.
Holidays.
Well, each one actually
holidays within the next season or two.
Well, yeah, they each end up happening to fall within. But yeah, so the next one's going to be holiday ones. I guess I can give you the first one. The first one is actually going to feature Nika and doing a Halloween type thing. I don't want to give all of it away, but it's going to be a Halloween Nika postcard.
There you go.
Because
And
she's scary.
Well,
to look at.
no, it's appropriate. She does a lot of cosplay. Come on now.
Cosplay makes sense.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
I know so much that she's not going to like.
Anyway,
Well, geez.
So just to confirm then, you need screenshots from Nika.
I literally just got it. I sent her a message, and I'm like, send me your screenshot right now.
I did.
good.
Wow. I'm actually surprised.
Well, hold on, because on Tuesday, I'm like, I need a picture of you ASAP today or tomorrow. Okay, the next day. I need that screenshot. Haven't heard from her.
I forgot.
Yeah.
Forgot. How long has it? How long have we been asking for a host bio?
I thought that was a joke
from you on the website. There is still no host bio there. Just so you know.
I don't know how to edit that.
You don't need to edit it. You just have to send the bio to one of us, and someone will figure it out.
It wasn't read on the air.
I don't need a bio. My epicness explains itself.
Oh my god.
It wasn't read on the air, but Juxta is fat in the chat, tossing 5 bits in and saying, "Delete Nika, please."
Oh my gosh! What the hell?
I don't like
it. Where are all my white knights from Reddit, man?
Where are they? Indeed,
I have a ton of them there.
Now that they have their Nika only episode, they just listen to that on repeat.
That's right. You know what's are they? I'm not sure what they mean by delete Nika. Are you asking for like a? Are you asking for like a Hardy Boys like delete fucking thing? Like no,
don't delete me.
I think that we should fire her. We should go to her house, get access to her account, delete her character, unsubscribe her, delete all of her Facebook. So do you have a MySpace? We have to go back that far. Like we just need like a hard erase of Nika from existence. Change her name. Yeah.
Anyway.
Damn.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty harsh. But thanks, Juxta is fat. I like your name.
It's worth a nickel to him.
Yeah. Thanks for the 5 bits. Right. Appreciate it. Anyway, we want to take your calls today. Limit Break Radio on Skype, 810-515-8715. Do me a favor. Let me know. I want to know from you, our listener base, our actual listener base, if you enjoyed the last 2 episodes comparative to the 120 episodes that had come before.
Oh, so we're eliciting calls for people to call in and basically tell us what they thought of the last 2 weeks?
Yeah, tell me how amazing I am and how much you missed me.
Or just how awesome we did without you.
You lose. But if you want to come to the defense of these losers who couldn't even put on an entertaining show,
yes, idiot,
then give us a call. Limit Break Radio on Skype, 810-515-8715, limitbreakradio.com/Discord. Again, we'll get to what Reddit seems to think of the last couple of shows. But in the meantime, give us a call. Limit Break Radio on Skype, 810-515-8715, and limitbreakradio.com/Discord. That's right, all 3 call-in methods available today with Kooky standing by to be able to answer your calls. I know that these were things...
That's so next gen.
I know. These were not things that you guys were able to offer our audience.
We didn't do it because we didn't want to.
Because you don't care enough.
We offered one way to call in.
I know, and it was terrible.
Well,
just like you.
Apparently, if you believe some people. Anyway, Limit Break Radio on Skype, 810-515-8715. You're not just relegated to Discord today, folks. All right, let's check out what is going on in FF14 news.
This is a Limit Breaking News update.
All right, so last week we had a whole lot of no news, but don't worry because this week we have tons of it. As if we haven't had enough design contests yet, Square-Enix's latest and greatest ploy to get the player to do more of their job is here. You now get to design a piece of furniture to be added to the game. Now, the contest limits what you can design to only those that go inside the house, so no exterior decorations. There will be 100 winning entries, so Square Enix won't have to worry about designing new decor for a while. Winners will receive the same thing all winners in all contests have ever received.
Predictable.
A gala cap hat, noble barding, bluebird earring, the Mandy choker.
If it was a bluebeard earring, I would be much more interested in what that was.
The airman choker and the scarf of wondrous wit. For more information on how to enter, please visit the lodestone. I wasn't too harsh there, was I, guys?
No, I don't think so.
Right,
I mean, it is literally the same shit that they've given away for every other contest ever.
100 winners, though?
That's normal.
Are they going to get 100 entries?
Yeah, they just like draw
that
shit?
That just seemed really lazy.
Yeah. Well, actually, it's not just as simple as drawing shit. One of the requirements is that like this has to be made in like some type of weird 3D like program.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
What?
Like for example, I guarantee you, what you have on your PC at home, you do not have the means to enter this contest.
Like the program.
Yeah.
3D. You have to make a 3D model of the furnishing.
Yeah.
That's the thing they want people to do.
So wait, Square Enix is basically just like admitting, they're admitting that they don't want to make this game anymore, and they're like, make it for us, and for that we'll give you a gala cap.
Screw the rules, I have money.
Oh boy.
So
I think the exchange rate on this is a little bit fucked.
Yeah, see, now it was one thing was kind of cool when they're like, design tank armor. Now healer armor. Now it's literally, we want you to design all of the furniture for this expansion, please. Go.
Well, I mean, to be fair, they can't do it, so get the people who can.
Yeah. The next season of The Feast has been confirmed. The newest season will begin when patch 4.06 drops. The rewards this time around for placing the top 100 is a new set of armor. Now, they've only shown a concept drawing.
It was nice to not have to listen to the drug rambling to the madman for 2 weeks. Hash ban Aniero.
Hash ban Aniero.
Hash ban.
Hash ban.
I think I have a bigger problem with the idea of a hash ban than actually being banned from the show.
Yeah, now they only showed a concept drawing, but it actually looked pretty badass. It looks like some kind of like sinister Final Fantasy version of Batman. Along with that, depending on what rank you place at the end of the season, you'll receive these special tickets that when you've accrued enough, you can exchange them for these specially designed PvP weapons. Now, if you place at the highest tier, you'll have enough tickets to immediately buy one of the weapons, but if not, you'll have to keep collecting them. It's essentially how like Golden Guns works in like Overwatch and other games that have done stuff like that.
Yay.
Oh boy.
Yeah. With Gamescom slowly approaching at the end of August.
Gamescom. But that's an M on the end of that.
I even typed it.
You did, yeah. How is it that you said con still?
With Gamescom.
Thank you.
Slowly approaching at the end of August, we've gotten word that Square Enix and Final Fantasy XIV will be making an appearance.
I'm coming! I'm coming!
Game's coming.
They've teased the chances for both beginners and expert players of obtaining sweet loot at not one, but 2 booths this year. Guests from the development team include Yoshi-P, Foxclon, and MSQ writer Natsuko Ishikawa. In addition, both Lakshmi and Susanoo will be available to battle. 2 primals? Well, that's a pretty smart way to help split the lines up. But wait. They will be available on alternating days. So if you want both of your I Beat t-shirts, you will be spending a lot of time in LineCon.
Nowhere else.
Also, there will be a cosplay contest, battle arena stage shows, and more.
Wait, hold on. Now they have 2 t-shirts?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah. Sorry, buddy.
Tell us how you really feel.
Yeah. Does that make you sad?
Remember how many t-shirts we got at the North American Fan Festival?
I'm pretty sure it was.
Any fan festival?
I'm pretty sure it was 0.
It was 0.
It was 0.
It was 0 times 3, which is triple the amount of 0.
3 zeros.
3 0. 000. That's the worst secret agent ever.
And people want to jump all over me for saying that Square Enix does not give a shit about
your loyal fan base.
Yeah, like its long-term player base.
Yeah,
like
they want to bring in new players from Gamescom.
They don't give a fuck.
The people who are going to spend $1,000 to have a dick-sucking festival for you. That's what fan festival is.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, yeah, it's let me cozy your balls as much as I possibly can. Like, honestly, like you're going there for one fucking game, and like what? Like look at what they're willing, the effort that they're willing to put up for things like E3 and Gamescom. I mean, more so Gamescom.
2.
I mean, I saw the Square Enix booth at San Diego Comic-Con. And, I mean, granted, there's not a whole lot of real estate that you have to work with there, but, I mean, left a lot to be desired. I just don't think that they think much of their long-term player base if they're willing to invest like this in, shit like Gamescom.
Yeah, they've already got us hooked as far as they're aware.
Yeah, exactly.
The Moonfire Fair is back, and goddamn dead ass. I mean, this event honestly isn't much more than it usually is. You can get a new swimsuit-looking gear and a painting and a new orchestrion
but
role.
It's not new. It's just the level 63 dungeon gear that you can dye now.
Oh, great.
Boo.
Now, if only SE would bring back those 1.0 Makote derrieres like the one in the Moonfire Fair promo picture. then people would have something to get excited about. Except Aniero. He doesn't find video game characters attractive.
He finds them repulsive, I guess.
He's repulsed.
Yeah, like totally
anti-hard, flaccid.
not even a littlest bit attractive.
What I'm repulsed by are the people who find that attractive. It's not.
So that's why you don't, because then you'd be repulsed by yourself.
I mean,
what kind of teacher logic was that?
Yeah,
fuck, Nika?
I expected that kind of shit out of Juxta.
You said you're not repulsed by attractive characters. You're repulsed by people who find the characters attractive. So do you find the characters attractive or not?
No,
I'm so confused.
I have no. There's nothing towards the character. There's
just
no
pixels to him.
Yeah, there's no attraction or not. Like it just is the thing. Like it's the people who get attracted to like imaginary characters we can.
I find it so hard to believe you've never found a video game character hot in your life.
Well, you know what, Nika? You're not the only one, but we'll get to that later. In an actually interesting bit of news, Square-Enix has released a new little snippet of story lore called Tales of the Storm. Now, it seems there are at least 4 planned with this first one being released. It's a short bit of story that shows a few moments between characters from the start of Stormblood, such as Conrad and Monongo. The story is considered canon, but is not a moment that we, as the Warrior of Light, are privy to from the game itself. So
we've
a little bit of extra stuff.
We've seen a lot of these.
I love when they do this kind of stuff.
Yeah, no, normally these are really good. Like, I mean, if I gave a shit about the story in Stormblood, I might be a lot more interested in it. But they did a version of these for Heavensward as well as for A Realm Reborn, and they were very, very well done.
I skimmed through this one, and while, yeah, it might have been written fine, like, after I read it, I was like, who the fuck gives a shit about that?
I mean, that's fair. I felt that way about a lot of the Heavensward stuff.
So it might not necessarily be anything new.
The A Realm Reborn stuff was definitely the pinnacle of that.
Mm-hmm. All right. Moment you've been waiting for. Woo! Seems Reddit can't go more than a few weeks without blowing our dicks. So here we go with our monthly Reddit Loves LBR Talk. Now, this thread here popped up, and it was because of our good friend Fusion X. He, of LBR fame.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
He directed us to it, so thank you, buddy. I'm going to go ahead and read what the OP wrote, and then we'll get right into it.
By the way, when I was out in the Seattle area, I had a chance to hang out with Fusion X.
He lives out there? Is that right? Yeah.
He does, yeah. So we had a chance to get dinner. We went out to...
How romantic.
I'm sorry.
I know. Well, when we went with his wife, we all got dinner. We all went to the most expensive lobster restaurant in town and got some fine lobster. I got a nice filet mignon. And we sat around. We rented out an entire theater and sat and watched Game of Thrones and Twin Peaks. And
you rented a theater?
That's right. We rented our own theater.
How do you rent a theater?
I feel like he might be extrapolating a little bit, guys.
No, I mean, when you have as much money as Limit Break Radio affords you to be able to throw around at a place like Seattle.
This was also at the top of the Seattle Space Tower,
that's
right?
Yeah,
Space Needle?
Yeah, exactly, right. Like, we rented out the whole place. We kicked everyone out, all the fucking tourists, and we...
You actually made the movie theater on top of the little needle point.
That's right, yeah.
In preparation.
That's right. So, yeah.
I'm jealous.
When you can do things like...
Well, it was with Fusion. So.
Like, when you can do things like charter a private plane out to Seattle... things like a nice lobster dinner with a good friend of ours, and I mean, like the conversation between Fusion and I was excellent as well, because we sat around and thought about great ways that we could try to dupe more money out of the FF14 community. I mean,
that is really the epitome of what this show is all about.
It is the epitome.
Scamming people for money, apparently.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah,
that's why I always said we should make our own wiki, but apparently that's been done already.
We sat around and we called our audiences rubes and had a good laugh at their expense and how much they were investing in us and how silly it was and how we could just use their money to do whatever. And then we wiped our asses with $100 bills, lit them on fire, and threw them at waiters just to see them dance and put it out. Jesus Christ, guys. No, actually, I actually did have a really good time with Fusion. We sat around and ate pizza. We actually did watch Game of Thrones and Twin Peaks. It was great. It was a really fun time. So shout out.
The chat is already screaming for Fusion and Aniero fanfics.
Oh my god!
You see what you started.
There's like 3 people that have already posted that. Good job.
Look what you have wrought.
So not cool.
Oh no. I regret it now. I regret this now.
Was it worth it?
No, it wasn't.
OP.
It's gonna happen.
Oh, we're back to this now.
We're back to this. The OP says, now, I know this show gets a fair bit of hate, but I was wondering if anyone caught the last 2 episodes. The show, while I do enjoy it, I don't agree with all of their opinions, and I think that's the strong part of their show. There's no holding back of a debate, etc. However, for the longest time now, the show is honestly based around 4 to 7 minute rants from Aniero, the host. Usually, he doesn't know what he's talking about. I doubt he even plays the game anymore or has hardly touched Stormblood. He shuts out most other people by just being the loudest, and it's not his actual views that annoy me. It's the fact that he stifles discussion within most of the group. These last 2 episodes, he's been away, and Nika and Juxta have been sharing hosting responsibilities. Was wondering if anyone caught these episodes because they were pretty amazing.
Yeah.
They had actual discussion about the game.
I'm almost proud.
Oh.
Take my money, and here's a piece of furniture.
It's a little table.
Thank you.
It's more like a coffee table.
They had actual discussion about the game without 7-minute rants of yelling. It was a funny as fuck show.
Oh,
Still,
that is fucking lying. Now
no,
you're
they
just
love us.
now you're just lying and
jelly.
sucking dick.
You're just jelly, Nero.
but everyone got to speak.
Funny as fuck, really.
But everyone got to speak, and they
shut up, Kahlo, you shut the fuck up right now.
And I'm not the one talking; it's the Reddit guy.
Funny as fuck.
And
the money umph.
And they spoke more about the game in that one show than they have probably in their last 10 shows. Great job, Nika and Juxta. Please consider breaking off from your host.
Quote unquote.
Your shows were fucking great.
But I nailed it. It's about.
I'd like to point out that second show was essentially just 3 hours of erotica. So what the fuck are you talking about?
I've noticed that so many times on that Reddit thread. People are like, oh, those last 2 episodes were so great. And I'm like, I actually made a comment that was like, I know what you guys are really into. Like, you guys are praising an episode that's literally about which characters have the weird sexual fetishes. Like, we see you, Reddit. We see you.
Not about puss, all right?
Come on now.
We see. I mean, but we know when the only things that get upvotes on Reddit are like naked fan art of Mikote is like, obviously this is what Reddit wants.
All right. Yeah.
So,
fine.
you know,
Sure. I'll believe that. I'll accept that as an answer. But I think what's actually, what you can see on display is just the automatic bias
Let's complain about it.
Towards anyone who dares question the Reddit groupthink, right? Like, because that's what I think I've been most outspoken about.
I don't know. I think Reddit seems to have a point on this one.
Well, hold on.
I'm sorry. No. Because the thread preceding this message was 200 comments.
No, 359.
That was, there were an extra 150 after I commented. So I'm just going to count all of those towards, responding to me. Because
wait, why would you respond? This was a thread about why Nika and Juxta did a good job.
I had some select responses because the thing is that all of the comments underneath that were basically just shit talking me, and that's
off topic. Why weren't they deleted?
That's a very good question. Actually,
that was
so predictable.
But what the thread is actually asking is, did you hear the Nika and Juxta shows? And I mean, as many times as they attempted to redirect the conversation back to, well, did you actually listen to the 2 shows? It inevitably degenerated into how much I am a detriment to the show, or how much I'm a fucking anchor on the show, or how much they don't like the things that I say, or that I don't like my rants.
Since you weren't there this time, they obviously went back and listened to those shows, right?
No, it doesn't.
Some people said that they would, but I don't know if our
they
count
actually
shows
did.
any different.
Yeah.
I'm sure
Do we have any more download hits?
Why would people lie on the internet?
Well, here's the sad part. Here's the unfortunate part is that, for all of the 300 comments that were there, it didn't seem to really translate into clicks or downloads.
Aww.
Sorry, guys. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. But
you know what upsets me?
You would think with this kind of outspoken backlash that it would translate into a lot of new people listening to the show. And
it's just that you're such an anchor that you bring us down even when you're not here.
Hold on. You said you commented?
I did.
When I read through earlier looking for comments, there wasn't a single one from you.
Yeah.
I didn't find it. I mean, Reddit does weird things where it like hides things or puts things in different orders based on it.
No, I read through the whole thing. Nothing from Aniero.
Well, I do know I can confirm that at least one of my comments was deleted in the thread, and it was the most visible and the one designed to kind of respond to the thread on a whole.
They censored you?
They absolutely did.
Wait, why? What did it say?
Well, I think the particular line that they took issue with was when I asked, are you retarded or just willfully stupid? Because they basically cited, like, you can't come in here calling people retards.
Oh, really? That's where Reddit draws the line.
Right. Retards is where Reddit absolutely says no. Which is, first of all, arbitrary as fuck. Like, can we admit that if 90% of the regular populace had come in there and said the word retard or even called somebody a retard, which I didn't do, by the way, I asked if they were a retard.
Stop asking questions.
I did the polite thing, because had they been a retard, they could have said, yes, I am a retard, and then that would have taken the conversation in an entirely different direction.
You know what upsets me most about this? As longtime listeners know, this isn't our first foray with Reddit.
Right.
Last year, we had a pretty epic, like, Game of Thrones level, like, clash with Reddit that actually resulted in some positive changes on the Reddit, the FF14 subreddit.
Well,
Yes, it did.
Yeah, and we had we had one of the mods come on the show and
we don't remember his name
talk it out.
we don't care. But yeah, it was a very Iane, there you go. Yeah, but
Edamame, right? Sure.
We came to a peaceful resolution that saw positive change. And now they're right back to censoring you. It's like, what good did it do?
Well, and here's the thing: is I did have a back and forth with I believe it was Earwax that I was talking to.
Iane.
Whatever. And basically what they took the biggest issue with retard, and they said
but there was someone else that called us douche nozzles.
Sure.
I feel like that's mean too.
Oh yeah,
why don't they delete that? That comment's still there.
Well, and the
that's
thing
really rude to the actual douche nozzles that exist in the world, the objects, because nobody wants to be compared to Limit Break Radio.
What he told me was that if I edited what I said, if I had taken the offensive parts out of out of my reply, that they would allow it to go back up. And what I simply responded was, I take responsibility for the shitty words and the shitty things that I say. If you want to take it out, you can edit it, but tell your community that you did, because I think that that's important to disclose. And instead, they handed me a 72-hour ban. Yep. So
Thank you kindly.
After this exchange, I took to Twitter, and it's funny because Angry Leftist on Twitter. This really triggered Angry Leftist, that fag.
Hey, you can't say stuff.
I'm so sorry. I can't.
We don't have our trans shield here. You can't do that.
Oh God.
Anyway, so what that little bitch, Angry Leftist, said was, well, after that tantrum, because basically what I went to Twitter to say was, well, if Reddit or our FFXIV in particular is going to let a 300 plus comment thread stand of nothing but shit talking about me, and won't let me respond directly to it in the way that I feel should be responded to, that first, that they absolutely are censoring me. They're taking away my voice. And that changes that thread from one of feedback to harassment. If you don't allow me to respond, that kind of that colors that thread a lot differently. Because if I had the ability to hit back on something other than my very well listened to podcast and radio show, that you would be taking away my voice. Now, you can argue that it was the words that I chose to use. I don't think that holds up at all. There's a massive double standard here.
Especially just if you read the other comments, there are so many like horribly mean comments that should have been equally removed. If that is their guideline, they need to be consistent with everyone, not just...
Especially considering that, again, the topic of this entire thread was, did you listen to the episodes that did not have Aniero?
Right. So the bulk of the conversation should have been about the performance that Nika and Juxta gave, not about me. I didn't... Listen, okay, if you need any more evidence of how important I am to this show, okay, there is no one outside of maybe Mr. Happy that could elicit a 200, 300 plus comment thread by not doing or saying anything.
Oh my God.
I didn't do or say anything for 2 weeks, and yet I still have threads of upwards of 200 comments, 300 comments, wherever the fuck you want to put it.
And can you put your raging
They locked
boner
it now,
away?
though. We can't comment anymore.
And fun. Who else in the FF14 community can generate that kind of
Yoshi-P?
Yes, that's true.
So Yoshi-P, Mr. Happy, and Aniero, they're all on the same level. Anyone else?
If they don't do anything, people complain.
Dude, I'm so fucking proud of that. Like, I'm so proud of that alone. Just the fact that I can do nothing and still inspire the kind of galvanizing that I do every week on the show. I mean, you know what? They're right. I really don't need to be on the show anymore because I will end up creating problems no matter what. Like, if I'm on this show, Reddit hates me. If I'm not on this show, Reddit still fucking hates me. It's kind of weird. It's kind of interesting how that works. But yeah, I mean, here's the thing about Limit Break Radio, because and of course, anytime we have a go around like this, it's like we have to stop and pull the show over and re-explain how, the point of the show and why we make it. But one of the things that, what you guys have got to remember, and this is true, that when we brought Limit Break Radio back, one of the things that we had said internally is, like, we don't want to be famous. Like, if we wanted to be Final Fantasy famous, like, we already did that. We did that the first go-round. And we were pretty good at it. I want to be infamous. And as far as I'm concerned, mission fucking accomplished. 110%. Like, you would think that a show like this would lose a little bit of steam after 2 weeks of changing their format, but we're creating just as much. I mean, really, like, Reddit is a promotional platform, no matter. Unless you're Reddit, right? Like, unless you're Reddit,
it's what the rules say.
Exactly. It's pretty much a promotional platform. We didn't make that thread. We weren't trying to push promo. We weren't trying to push people to listen to the shows.
Somebody swears we make all of our Reddit threads.
I know, right? I love that accusation.
Actually, earlier, Juxta was like, I actually kind of thought that maybe being gone for 2 weeks, that Aniero had made that thread.
Oh, I wish.
Under like a fake account.
I fucking wish.
But apparently that guy has like 15,000 karma. And that's
1,500.
Oh, 1,500. Yeah, that's way too much effort for Aniero to put in.
Yeah.
Anyway, so let's read a couple of these comments because, I mean, again, do I honestly think that this is harassment? No, probably not. But I mean, like, when you stack the deck like that against someone, I feel like they're,
when you're a public figure like that, you kind of invite it.
Well,
you should watch what you wear.
Dude, it's so weird that you would ban you're talking about my fucking show. Like, you can't exclude the person who makes the thing from the conversation.
Except that this thread wasn't about you; it was about the absence of you.
Yeah,
okay?
You were off topic.
I was, and if they wanted to remove my posts on those grounds, that's fine. But they said it was because I called somebody a retard, which I didn't. So. Nothing is consistent about the enforcement of this. They literally did go out of their way to censor me specifically. I do feel singled out and targeted.
No, absolutely.
And we're pretty butthurt about it.
And 300 comments? Sorry. I mean, most of them savagely critical. Sorry, dude. Yeah, like, when you remove my ability to respond to that, yeah, that sort of it definitely crosses a line. And it makes me go, fuck you. And it exposes your absolute, awful moderating of your own community because, if they're willing to do this to me, what makes you think that they're not going to do this to you?
I'm disappointed. All right. Last year, we saved Reddit from itself, went out of our way, dedicated several episodes to helping clean up the scourge that was Reddit and putting them on the righteous track.
Right.
And they've thrown it all away again. You don't get that twice. Okay? That's it, Reddit. We're done now. We're done.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're lawful good.
You want to know what I find most hilarious about the whole thing, though?
Maybe
the amount of comments that pointed out one of the reasons they don't like us. Like, well, we can put up with, their negativeness because it's dissenting opinions. But what we absolutely can't put up with is how it's the same stuff every single week. So what we're going to do is we're going to ignore you guys and go play this awesome game that has given us the exact same stuff, 3 expansions and a fuck. Do you see the irony? Who's stupid now, bitch?
Seriously.
Jesus Christ.
And I mean, yeah, that the irony there is not lost on me. Tons of critical comments, tons of criticism, and the funny thing is that, you know, people are like, oh, well, look at the way that you're responding to criticism. Like, it's funny when somebody pushes back against criticism, whether it's valid or not. They always get this label of like, oh, well, you're throwing a temper tantrum.
If you don't follow the criticism,
right,
that means that you're not open to it.
That's right, yeah. And if you openly say, fuck you, your criticism is stupid, oh, God forbid.
By the way, Reddit, fuck you, your criticism is stupid.
It is stupid. Let's read some of the stupid criticisms. Do you want to go ahead?
We're going to do that. All right. So the first one isn't so much criticism, but man, it was perfect. It's actually one of the first ones that I read. From Scarlet. I wonder what the odds are that this thread gets brought up the next time LBR rants about Reddit commentators and decides to clarify things, winky face.
I responded to that one too, and I was like, yeah, well, the thing is that we have to keep clarifying things because of all the generalizations that keep being made about us. And they responded in some like super nice, like, oh yeah, I'm sure you guys are so sick of responding to these by now. It's like, oh, shut up with your bullshit. Like,
yeah, we are. It's specifically yours, so shut up and add something. Maybe add something to the conversation that wasn't already pre-existing, right? Like, can you contribute just a little bit? Like, we come up with a new show every fucking week, right? Like, okay, yeah, some shit repeats itself. Like, when you have a podcast that goes on for 120 episodes, like, do you know how often we get asked to do fanfics, or we get asked to do all of the stupid shit that they had to do last episode to be able to make a show?
The only thing they ask us to do that we're not going to do is a crafting episode. Fuck that.
Exactly. So, you know, like, I don't know that I understand the nature of complaining about, oh, well, they repeat themselves and it's the same shit over and over again, and oh, they're just going to bring this up again. Yeah, of course we're going to bring this up again.
Especially when like half that thread was like, oh, is that podcast that just wishes 14 was 11? I'm like, God damn it. You don't clearly listen to the show. And that's why it's so frustrating that we have to keep repeating ourselves, is because nobody like gives it. I don't know. It's like, I don't want to say nobody listens, because clearly plenty of people listen. Like, there's these idiots that just generalize and then create threads like this, which creates nonsense bullshit like that statement.
But it does give us stuff to talk about.
Yeah, it does. It gives us stuff to talk about. Not only that, but most of the time when you get a thread like this, right? You have people who are piling on and all of that, but you also get the benefit of getting exposed to new players, and a lot of people will see the negativity. They may tune out, but I think it's a 50-50 shot that they give that link a click, or they come to the website, and then when they listen to the show and they actually find out what the show's about, they end up liking it. We've found tons of fans that way.
There was one comment that was like, oh shit, they're still around? I used to listen to them in the 11 days.
Uh-oh.
Now, I don't know if he actually went and listened to us again or not. I hope for his sake he didn't.
Uh-oh.
But, yeah, that happened. Next comment from So Many Deeds. People who think through sheer ignorance they can make money off their content. I had a friend who did host stuff for large games, and as a host, you don't really need to know much about much other than to keep guests on track. Unfortunately, it sounds like the guy in question doesn't actually know how to host at all.
Sounds like, which means that they didn't
never actually
bother to listen.
To the show. Yeah. Huh, interesting.
Yeah, that.
That is the completely incorrect criticism. Like, say what you want about Aniero's progress in the game, but you cannot say that he doesn't have hosting.
Well, this guy obviously saw one of the first comments and a link there too of your lodestone.
Sure.
You're only level 64.
I know.
How do you know what's
shocking and scandalous?
How do you know what's going on if you don't even do what's going on?
It's like I've played this expansion twice before.
But you don't know that. You don't know that.
Really?
Because you're only level 64. Look, for example,
hang on.
I'm level 67.
Okay.
And I know that it's all the same because I've played it. But you don't know that.
Okay, so let me see if I can guess. So, let's see. There's probably a major character death that may seem surprising, but for anyone who can read the basic outline of a plot, can see that telegraphed about 3 moves ahead of time.
And also, they don't die.
Oh, good. That's always fun.
Spoiler.
Wait, which one?
Let me see. Let me see.
This is not our spoiler episode yet,
is there an awkward shoehorned love story somewhere? No. Okay. I mean, it's a Final Fantasy game. It was a guess. It was a wild guess. Are there a couple of dungeons that really don't take a whole lot of thinking to be able to work your way through?
That's just a game. That's the center spot and bingo card.
And there's
but to be fair, there's some really, really, really cool looking dungeons.
Okay.
They're really aesthetically awesome.
Nika.
Okay.
Doma Castle is fucking cool, and so is Alamiko.
Oh, well, I haven't been there yet, so I don't know that.
Listen. Most of Stormblood visually is pretty good.
If you like brown and gray.
Hey, there's green in the steps.
I will accept that. I will at least accept that. Okay. However, okay, that's about all it's got going for it. Like the zones designed very well, and at this point, that's all it's got going for it. The story, right? Like. You have to be able to judge a story on the merits of the story, right? Like how well the narrative is engaging you. I'm pretty sure that the main bad guy just kicked my ass and walked away.
Twice.
Why?
Or 3 times?
Why?
2 or 3 times?
I think it's twice now. But why? Fucking idiot.
Oh, yeah, it's because farmers showed up with pitchforks. And he has a magic blade. And also, apparently, he wants a challenge.
Well, I didn't say it was a good reason. It's an anime
That's
reason.
Exactly my problem.
It's an anime reason.
Have I not?
Blame the Japanese.
I do. And have I not been very open about the fact that this expansion, the aesthetics, the setting, everything around it does not grab my attention, does not hold my attention, and does not do anything for me? Like, why is it? Fuck off. Why is it that it's such a fucking surprise after E3, after San Diego Comic-Con, after taking a week off, after 4 fucking weeks of power problems in my apartment, that I could be lagging behind a little bit? Is it really that fucking surprising? I mean, you guys ostensibly watch this show. You're fans enough of this show to be able to tell me whether or not I still have a place on my own fucking show that I've hosted for 4 years and then, 6 before that, okay? Right? If you're such fucking experts, tell me exactly how long I've had power problems. And then rewind the clock, since remember, you're the fucking historians here and you're so fucking smart. Rewind about a year to last summer when I had computer problems. What do you think the computer problems were actually caused by? They may have been caused by this underlying electrical problem. Do you think it may have made me a bit gun shy about turning on my computer because I did not want to incur undue cost to this company, having to replace the computer that is the heart of the studio that we use every fucking week?
Real life shit doesn't matter, though. It's only what's face value on the internet, and that is what you are like.
Yeah, Blue Garter taught that to Nika.
Yeah, they did.
Everyone's perception of you is always accurate.
Yes.
Remember that.
Next comment comes from...
I got this one.
Oh, okay.
Oh, good.
What?
Who does it come from?
It comes from WSoxFan1214, and he says, people who think that through sheer ignorance they can make money off their content. I had a friend... Wait, we just read that one.
We already read that one.
We already read that one.
That wasn't...
Owned.
Well, you copied and pasted the same one, you dim dick.
No, I didn't. That's only in there once.
Yeah, you just read the same one.
Go read up to So Many Deeds.
Oh, shit, it did.
Yeah, you fucking moron.
Oh, I wonder what the real one is then.
Who cares?
Oh, so that could be from WSoxFan or So Many Deeds. Who knows who really wrote it?
Anyway, this next one is from Buff Mama.
Hang on, I did want to respond. I did want to respond to the idea of making money. All right, I'm sort of glad you repeated because I needed to refill my drink.
See, I did that on purpose.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up, you piece of shit.
Preemptively.
Good job, Kahlo.
Thank you.
High five.
You fail forward. Good
See?
job.
That's how you run a show, Juxta and Nika.
Fired. Yeah. So
you're some kind of moron.
Everyone's
you know
insulting Juxta in the chat. Learn to read.
Get the fuck out of here! God damn.
Okay, no, I do want to address this notion that commenter brought up that, well, these motherfuckers, they just want to make money off their content. This is what happens when people make money off their content. Well, should we not? Like, should we not be trying to make money off of our content? Should we not? Should we be content working our day jobs at pizza delivery places or jean stores? You know, like, what do you want from us? Like, if we did. It's like you damned if you do, damned if you don't. Like we have to come into this show or any other show that we produce with pure altruism, and no, we just want to do it because, like, you know what we do. That's why we do this show, is because ultimately we do love FF14, even if we're frustrated with it right now. By the way, the open secret of this show is that throughout A Realm Reborn and Heavensward, all of us were at different playtimes. Like, all of us were, we're at different levels of engagement with the show. Just so happens that this go round, it's me who's lagging behind everyone else.
He's the kooky this time.
Yeah.
Fine. Fair.
But you cannot really speak very much, Mr. 67. So
I'm getting there.
Yeah.
Stop asking me for money.
No, keep giving it.
You know how many level 70s I have? 7.
Yeah, but you know what? You also
you have no life. You
don't have a life because it's summertime now, and yet you still don't help with the show.
Actually, she did produce the one episode.
The one.
Yeah.
The next episode when we did the ship stuff, right? I'm like, Nika, the ships you came up with, please add to them. She didn't. Juxta did.
You said I have to be able to defend them, so I said in my head I can defend all of them. I didn't know I was supposed to write it on the outline. I didn't.
Except I said the night before, write it on the outline.
Yeah, the night before I wasn't reading Facebook.
Anyway,
it's not like she has like a very popular podcast that she has to go to in the next day or anything.
Nope, I got my praiseworthy episode. I'm good. I can retire.
Well, I just think that this notion that as soon as you start trying to make money off of your product, because you know what?
Oh, you're a sellout.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's not like honestly, if you guys weren't being paid for Limit Break Radio, you guys receive not a lot of money, but you guys receive money.
People only do things because they get paid.
Well, I mean, like, how? When do you think you might have dropped FF14? Like,
I mean, I'd probably still playing.
You would check in with it.
I'd check in with it.
Yeah.
Definitely would not be able to do this. If we were getting zero money for this, I would not be able to make the 2-hour drive every week down here to talk into a microphone.
Exactly. Right. And so, you know what? Like, our pursuit of money is not to put money in my pocket or to put food on my table. It's for the 5 of us. It's for the... I mean, like... How is it that I can, try to structure an entire business around trying to give, my closest friends opportunities that they may not have, and yet I'm still the asshole, right? Like,
yeah, of course.
I'm still the dick.
Fuck you, Aniero.
I know, right?
Piece of shit.
I'm a fucking terrible
person.
How
dare you come on this show and yell at people and then not come on this show and not yell at people? God
come
damn
on the
it.
show.
Okay, a Nero position.
All right, let's get another comment in here.
All right, this one's from Buff Mama.
How about an actual new comment?
Yeah, this
is a new comment.
Oh, good.
Okay. Wow, he only has 360s?
Only ever had
360s? Why on earth is this fool hosting a show about a game he barely plays? My name is Buff Mama.
So it's one thing that you're only 64 right now.
Yeah.
But they went back, and for Heavensward, you only had 3 jobs at 60.
Well, you can probably say on his lodestone that he only has 2 other 60s, so.
Yeah. So...
But even so, there's so many people in this game that only level like 1 or 2 jobs, and they just focus only on those.
Hang on, you know what? I need to say this because I'm a little bit disappointed with Reddit's internet detectivery, because they didn't. I don't think they found the most embarrassing part of that. Like the most embarrassing part of my lodestone profile.
What's the most embarrassing part?
I mean, it's not the fact that I only have 3 jobs at 60 ever.
It's your meme collection.
It's not the fact that I pretty much stalled out at level 64. No, what I think the most embarrassing fact on that entire Lodestone profile is, I still, to this day, have not completed Dunescape. That's still an active quest.
Wow.
Wait, what
Even an
quest is
active
that?
quest?
That's an active quest.
Wait, what quest is that?
The third leg of fucking
Diablos.
Jesus.
Stuff. The Void Arc.
The Void Arc thing, yeah.
Wait, what?
So that means he never even went into
Yep.
Dick Skaith.
That's right.
What?
Yep.
There's actually...
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious. You can see it on my active quest list right now.
What the fuck?
In relation to the Buff Mama comment, there's actually a small thread of those, right? I wanted to read a couple of those.
Wow, you're a retard.
Delete Juxta.
I just want to make sure. I just want to make absolutely sure that everyone is totally clear about when I burned out on this game, and it was at about 3.5.
Ouch.
Or 3.4. Whenever Dunescape was, whenever that section of the raid was, that was
0.5.
That was 0.5?
Yeah.
Okay, I hit my wall then.
Yep.
And you know what? I don't think, like, the fact that I haven't mentioned that openly, and the fact that you guys never called it. You guys never called me on it. Like, no one bothered to look at my open quest list. Like, fuck you guys. You guys did not do your fucking homework.
I'll tell you why. Because who gives a shit about Dunescape?
I mean, no one, including me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
but if you can't complete Dunescape, then you're just a complete and
I totally
total
really
noob.
thought you said Dunescape. That's why I didn't know what you were saying.
Yes, Dunescape.
Who controls the spice?
I always pronounce it
Controls the
Dunescape.
Yoshida.
The fact that you actually made the accurate reference is the thing that I think I'm most impressed about right there.
Well, you can't always bat 100.
You mean 0? Because you bet 0.
No, I mean the 100 is making the reference wrong every time.
But the thing, like, honestly, you know, if you want my honest opinion about it, I really have been burnt out for that long. And you know what? I mean, if that bothers you, or if that colors your opinion about my take on this game, or even my take all the way through 3.5, I mean, fine. I don't really care. Like, we don't do this show to be credible. We don't do this show to be a news source. We do the show because we like Final Fantasy dick jokes. Like, it's so much more simple why we do the show, because that was the crux of a lot of the criticisms. They were like, why do you do this show if you hate this game? Well, when I started the show, I didn't hate this game. It has been a slow process of me souring on the repetitive content from one, not just patch to another, but now expansion to another. And yeah, I've gotten sick of it. I won't hide that fact. I didn't think I was hiding that fact even before I took 2 weeks off. And the fact that people think that they're calling me by linking my fucking Lodestone profile. Ooh, you know I stream, right? Like, you know that people can look at my shit anytime they fucking want, anytime I'm live. Like, I've pretty much, most of my playtime on FF14 on Stormblood has been on stream.
Ditto.
So, what do people actually think that they were calling me out on here? Yeah, exactly. And so you've got to kind of work backwards. Well, what was the point of that then? What was the point in even bringing that up? It is to try to make me seem more illegitimate in the eyes of someone who's never even listened to the show. Because the people who listen to the show understand that I've got a 10-year track record with MMOs, that understand that I've had 3 sustained years of playing FF14. And I think most of them can understand how at this point, I might be a little bit burned out, how I might be a little bit over most of the content that's being added at this point, and how I might be able to pick up on patterns, because that's what the human brain does. It picks up on patterns. Yoshi-P. And
Yoshi pattern.
What was I feel like you kind of choked at the same time you said that.
Yeah, what was that?
I have no idea what that was supposed to be.
Are you crying?
So tore up about the realism of my real joke. It was too real.
Anyway.
So this next one comes from Rowlin. He says, unpopular opinion time. I like LBR. I like them enough to actually use my Reddit account to say I like them.
You're banned.
I know many 14 players see them as toxic, but that seems to mostly come from the echo chamber that is the subreddit. Look, I've played this game a long time, since the 1.0 era. I've taken breaks, I've hardcore rated, I've midcore rated, I'm currently just a casual player. Sounds like he's burning out too. I can say without a doubt this game has faults. A lot of them. Some that weren't an issue in SE's older MMO, FF11, which I also played a lot back in the day. I feel like it's fair to compare the two when it comes to these issues. I don't see it as, oh, go back to 11 mentality that so many defenders will tout. LBR also regularly invites and welcomes all sides of discussion on their show. I've listened to several people call in and say how happy and excited about 14 and its expansions they are. I've heard people with differing opinions being invited on regularly to speak their mind. For all of those who just want to shit on the show, on the hosts, and claim they do it because that's all the show does, how does that make you any better? How does it make your opinions any stronger? This will probably be buried or downvoted, but it's how I feel on the situation.
That guy gets it.
Yeah, fuck that guy, stupid idiot.
Yeah, it's dummy.
Man, wait.
Thanks for the...
It doesn't sound like a very bad one at all.
Yeah, no, thanks for the defense.
Yeah.
That was nice.
We are.
Why was he smart?
Reddit and us are essentially the same. We're just different sides of a different coin.
How is...
different sides of a different coin.
Yeah. Well, because we're like a 50
Basically
cent
the same.
piece, they're like a penny because we're better.
Oh, okay.
A 50-cent piece?
Oh, yeah.
So...
That shit that nobody uses anymore?
Would you have to...
Great analogy.
Would you have to flip both coins at the same time to be able to figure out who won in the toss-up?
There's no winners.
Okay, that's fair.
Okay.
I guess maybe that's a good analogy. All right, let's go to our phone lines and talk to Fern of Sargentana. That's, by the way, what the phone system is telling me. Fern, what's up? Thank you for calling from Sargentana.
Hey, guys.
What up?
You probably know it's who this is by now, if you already know.
Is it the Chocobro?
Yes, it's Kalos' twin once again.
What up?
Don't give away our gag.
Hi, bud. What's going on, dude?
Okay. So I heard about the whole what's going on with the last 2 weeks since Aniero was gone. Now, I can probably sum it up in a nutshell. While Nika and Juxta were going between the 2 weeks, one of the big things I can use to sum it up is the 2 words, Ascalia lover.
Okay.
Oh, the fanfics.
Yeah, I mean the fanfic was pretty good.
It was good. Needless to say, the primal Nero thing got an interesting thing going.
Is that interesting thing called a boner by chance? Because that would make sense. Yeah, there we go.
Say, I'm not sure how my character would have one, being my character is technically a girl. But
well, you said technically
you get
a girl.
Lady boners.
Budocock.
Yes, but you know what? I think what's going on with Reddit and everything right now,
okay,
with them censoring you and Aniero, I think in all fairness, I think what's going on is similar to some, like a slight 4chan effect. Not to say that they're doing what 4chan would do on Reddit. Basically, they're suppressing your right to fight back by censoring your comments.
Yeah, you know, Fern, Rob from New York, Foamy, whatever you want to be called these days. Chocobro, that's I feel like he's
got more handles than Daenerys and Ascalia combined.
Yeah, he's amassing a ton of handles here on the show. But appreciate the call, dude. Thanks so much for the call. You know, I do think that observation is accurate, though. That, you know, 4chan is really guilty of you know, suppressing the ability of someone to be able to fight back against criticism. I think that our FFXIV is doing the same thing to me here, and finding little technical reasons like, oh, well, you said a word that we don't like.
Naughty word.
Yeah, to be able to justifiably remove the post. And the thing is that, you know, like, of course I use
flowerful language,
objectionable language when defending myself. I use it on this show all the time. Pretty sure I called Angry Leftist a fag, right? Like,
yes, you did.
I did, and I'll do it again. I don't care. And if you don't get why that's funny, and I mean, if you want to call me a homophobe for that, fine. I don't give a shit. It's not true, and I can prove a million ways from Sunday that it's not true. And the thing is I don't feel the need to get defensive about this shit. You know, if you can't tell the difference between what is being said as a part of the character and what is being said, you know, and something that I genuinely mean, generally because I say, I genuinely mean this, right? Like the moments of being genuine and responding to something in earnest are pretty easy to discern from when I'm playing up a point or responding in character like I was in that thread. And, you know, to then come back and you know, have my responses removed and deleted, again, that's what crosses the line for me, and that's what moves this issue from just simply, you know, critical responses or criticism into the realm of harassment. When you don't allow somebody to be able to fight back like that, you know, that I think that that's a real problem. And if Reddit wants to try to tout themselves as some kind of free and open discussion platform, I'm going to tell you right here, right now, from firsthand experience, that's a fucking lie. And it's a lie. They're lying to you. They're not giving you an open discussion platform. This show is more of an open discussion platform. We allow open calls. You can say whatever the fuck you want.
And no, we're not going to mute you, kick you off, or talk over you.
That's right.
Unless you're an idiot like Darkstar.
Right.
And even he got his chance to say something.
He really did. I mean, we gave him more
chances than he deserved.
And you know what? You know what else people love to point to was the beating of Squall Loves Riona. People love to point to that to show how much of a bully we are, forgetting that he was the one who mentioned us in his video.
Oh yes,
and
he called us out.
Yeah, and we were responding to his criticism. And people want to come back to us now because the videos are gone and the channel's been deleted.
We win.
And say, oh, well, you beat him up so bad that you got him off of YouTube. No. We defended ourselves. And the fact that he called up and had nothing productive to add to that conversation didn't help his case. We didn't ask. I mean, we asked him to do that. We didn't force him to do that. Anyone is welcome to call this show. I mean, we just put Rob from New York on the air.
Love Rob. The Foamy Law, the Joker Bro, Fern of Sargentania.
Do we?
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. Of course we love Rob. But the thing is like, dude, anyone can call the show at any time that we're live. We will take that call. If you want to call me a fucking asshole, if you want to call me a homophobe, if you want to try to call me out on my quote unquote bullshit that people spent 200 comments, 300 comments on Reddit trying to do, then at least have the common courtesy to do it to my face. I mean, even doing a live podcast and calling in, you're not really doing it to my face, but at least meet me on my fucking level. At least meet me on the level that I want to meet you guys on. And of course, the person who posted the comment in the first place, the thread in the first place, was like, no, I'm choosing to meet you here. Yeah.
Where we can, silence you.
Yeah, exactly. Where you can delete my responses, where you can hand out a ban on my account, where you can lock the threads. Yeah, of course you're gonna go to Reddit.
Yep.
I mean, like you might have asked YouTube comments what they thought about me.
That's a whole nother show. Nika, would you like to read this next comment? I know that this is one of your favorites.
Super fave. They said, these guys were douche nozzles in Vegas at the first Fan Fest, and it seems like they are still douche nozzles now, from Sid 0807.
You douche nozzles.
Like, okay, the first Fan Fest, that's when me and Aniero were at. I am trying so hard to think of one time that we might have looked like an asshole to anyone.
Wait, Nika,
Nico.
Did someone flirt with you and you didn't have sex with them? Because that's a real douchey thing to do.
That is,
I'm
yeah.
sorry.
Way to friend zone.
I guess. Yeah. I mean, I actually responded to this guy too and called him out. I was like, "Oh, when did we say something to offend you? I'm so sorry. I don't recall being a douche nozzle." He never responded, by the way.
But five or six other people did, saying you guys were awesome at FanFest.
Yeah,
No, they
exactly.
were saying, "Nico, we love you. We love you on the show. You're the best." Like they were all just like, "Hey, Nico, hi." I was like, I totally just want to know why this guy thought we were douche nozzles. But what I still don't understand though how retard is. I mean, I don't like that word personally, but to censor that word, fine. But not to censor someone who's called someone a douche, like that's pretty mean.
Listen.
Right? Like, shouldn't that guy have had his comment deleted? I don't know. I just
listen. By the most strict definition, the term retard is a medical term. Okay.
It's not really used anymore.
No, it's not really used anymore. But do you remember the term for a special education person? I don't know what the politically correct one is now. But
person with special needs.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. Do you remember what we used to call them before it was retarded? It was imbecile. Okay. If I had used the word imbecile in that entire post, no one would have batted an eye at it, including Reddit moderation. This is the way that language works, okay? This is just and it's specific to the mentally handicapped that this applies. Because what do? We co-opt a phrase that's used in a medical context to be able to call our stupid friends stupid when they do something stupid. That's all it is. There's no hatred behind it. There's no, there's no underlying ism that drives that. Okay, that's the fact. It is a medical term that has been co-opted by pop culture, society, whatever the fuck you want to call it, to label our stupid friends. And the thing is that these goalposts keep getting moved. So instead of calling my stupid friend retarded, in 10 years, I'm going to call him mentally handicapped. And we're going to find a fourth word to toss onto that fucking euphemism. That's how this shit just keeps degenerating and language keeps getting softer and easier to digest, and people have a hard time hearing things that they don't agree with. And that's really, I think, the crux of what most people are complaining about, is that I confront them with ideas that they don't want to think about. They don't want to think about in 3 months after this content has become as boring as white bread, or white people, really, that I don't know why I'm just throwing it in there just to piss white people off, but that they're going to be bored with it. All they want to do is put on the blinders and enjoy where they're at right now. But for the folks like us who have been on this dog and pony show now for almost 4 fucking years, like, we see the writing on the wall. We see where that same system will end up getting us down the road. And I think at this point, we've waited the appropriate amount of time to say shit's not changing. And it's frustrating. It's frustrating for us as players to continue to play this game. And at least some of us on this cast are willing to at least admit it openly. A lot of people would try to hide it, be very self-conscious about this. This would be their dirty little secret. I don't fucking care. Like, I literally cannot care that I was, quote unquote, outed by Reddit. And the fact that we're going through all of these comments and reading them in an excruciating fashion on the show should be evidence enough to anyone listening to this that we are more than willing to hear out the criticism. But if you think that we have to be silently accepting of it, you're fucking wrong. You're fucking wrong. And this insane notion that we created this show to somehow bitch about this game, or that this was the long-term goal, like, no. That's fucking crazy.
How many times have we said that we wished we had less to complain about?
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
All the time. We say we like this game, but we are critical of it because we don't want to see it fail. And unfortunately, there are so many things to be critical about.
And not only that, but the problems that we identify persist. That is, I think, the most egregious thing about it is that the problems that we've identified and even tried to throw suggestions out to help solve are not even being addressed in development form at all. And I think that is way more disappointing, way more disheartening, and way more demotivating than any other factor at play here. Do you want me to apologize for this? Like, do you want me to feel sorry about the fact that this game isn't really doing much for me right now?
No, they want you to talk about the positive things you like.
We're done.
That we've been dealing with for 3 expansions now, and the positive things are just retreaded material now.
Yeah, I mean, it's like we could have one episode maybe where we talked about positive things, but the thing is that you're right. The positive things we already spoke about them, and the thing is that the positive things are still positive. They're still doing a great job of the things they're good at, but they're not improving on the things that they're lacking in, and that's the issue.
Not to mention, when you have things that are quote unquote good, let's go back to 2.0. Rating was good. Right? We all liked rating. But they haven't improved on what is good. They've actually been delivering worse rating experiences.
Well, and I don't know, because this was one of the things that was said on one of the previous shows. I don't know that Coil, I mean, comparatively among the raids that we have, yes, Coil was the best of them because it got closest to what I think I want out of a raid. And since then, we've only gotten farther and farther and farther from that.
Yep. I also think it has a lot to do with the fact that it was the beginning of the game and it was a great start. And
I'm even talking about formatics. Because there was more to, the Coil instances. There was, not just the story that was, wrapped into it, but there were trash and zones, at least a little bit
like you were at a place that existed within the world.
Yes, at least more so than Omega and Alexander.
I mean, I guess that's kind of what I was going for, was that was the beginning of the game. They had what's still regarded as the most fun raids that we've had, and then going forward, it's just more of the same and even like less of it. So it's just very repetitive at this point too. Like back then we praised primals. How sick are we of just another primal fight in a circle room at this point? Like it was all great and fun then, but now nothing that was good and fun has been improved on. It's just the same, and that's the issue.
Right. It is literally the sameness of the content. And the thing is that you don't have to get much farther than 64 to be able to see that. A bigger determining factor of whether or not I was of how engaged I was going to end up being in Stormblood was what they ended up doing with the rating loot table.
Nothing.
And when I saw that it was literally nothing from the Alexander loot table,
you can get the weapon you want more easily now.
Yeah, that has changed. Everything else is exactly the same.
So you can do less rating.
Right, yeah. Because that's what we want, right? Like, we want to do less rating. That's what we want, right?
That's what clearly the we-wants want. Is to just do it and then not have to do it anymore. No, I don't know. I don't understand why people complain about things that are. I can't.
Here's the other thing is that, most of the arguments against me or me showing up to the show were really kind of rooted in my experience or what I had and hadn't done, and less about actually arguing the fucking point. When you try to pin these motherfuckers down on trying to argue the fucking point, like, tell me where in my logic I went wrong, right? Like, tell me what you take the most issue with. I think the closest that anyone got to actually being able to explain it was that they took issue with the fact that I said Square-Enix should have taken another 6 months or a year to, essentially double the amount of content that they put out in Stormblood.
I would actually like to see you finish the expansion for one reason, and that is to see how people's warped ideas of quote-unquote arguments, they change from, okay, well, now that he's played the content and has the same opinion.
That's the fucking thing.
That's
the thing. Well, but that's the thing, is that no one's actually arguing for me to try to change my opinion. right? Like, that's not, I think, the thing that they're arguing. They're arguing to be able to discredit me.
Right.
And the thing is that we've gone through this before. Like, we've done this like 3 or 4 fucking times by this point. It doesn't matter how far I would have been able to get in the game. I could have cleared Omega Savage 1, 2, and been working on 3 at that exact point, and I would have still had the same amount of criticism leveled against me. Because they'd go, oh, well, he's not eye level 1 whatever. You know, like, he's not the right eye level. He doesn't have all of his crafting jobs leveled.
Oh, he cleared Savage Omega, but he never did Savage Alexander or Bahamut, did he?
Exactly. Those goalposts will always be moved. Always. Which is why I'm not at all bothered by the fact that people went through my lodestone profile. Oh, no.
Again, clearly not very well.
Yeah. Again, they didn't even find the most embarrassing stuff. I had to tell you that. Remember that. Just remember that. The next time you think I'm such a fucking bad host. Anyway, do we have a couple of more? By the way, I also wanted to mention Volkai, who was complaining in the chat about us not taking his call. We'll take your call when we can take your call. Don't pull over until somebody tells you that you're next up, dude.
And if you're fucking working, then guess what? Don't fucking call into the show,
You
man.
probably shouldn't be calling while you're driving. Like, talking on the phone is already a dangerous thing. We almost killed someone else in an email. Remember, like, we shouldn't kill somebody. We shouldn't be killing someone because they're calling into our show. I would feel so bad if we heard someone die on the show.
To his point, he was like, well, I was pulled over and I had all my, like, I was trying to make my sound all good. Well, we weren't fucking ready for you. Wait until someone tells you that we're ready for you.
And it's your choice to call in. If you have to stop working to do that, that's not on us, man.
Dude, like...
You listen to the show enough to know that we've put people on hold for hours before. Come on, man. Smarten up.
We're going to go back to our phone lines real quick. Doris Ginevanian of Tonberry calling in. What's up, Doris?
Hello. How's it going?
Good. Thanks for calling. What's up?
Yeah. I feel like even though you haven't finished the MSQ, you're not really missing out on much. Like, you're still doing the same shit as you were in Heavensward.
Doris, I need to ask you a question before we continue. Now, obviously, you have a really ugly girl's name, but have you completed the MSQ?
Yes.
Oh, dun.
So Doris knows what he's talking about. Continue.
Yeah, go ahead, Doris.
No, I was doing the same shit I was at Heavensward. Like, we got the extreme primals, 8-man raid and weekly tombstones. It just feels monotonous and repetitive.
I mean, and that's the thing, is that you pick up on that pretty early on and easily, I feel. Like it. Like, just as you're going through, you're like, okay, I know what this is. I've got a whole bunch of story quests, a couple of dungeons in between 60 and 70, and then at 70, I'll have a boring raid to go into. Next patch, I'll have a bigger, boring raid to go into. Like,
but it's easier.
Yeah, and like, that's the thing, is that I just don't know that I have another round of this shit in me. And again, I feel like I've said that. I feel like I have been remarkably transparent on this point. That it's like, dude, and I said it during Heavensward. If Stormblood is just Heavensward rehashed, I don't know that I have another expansion in me. So how are people fucking surprised that I'm sitting around at 64? I mean, between all of the different factors that I've listed out that would impact my ability to sit around and log on for long periods of time, and the fact that I have been way open ever since FanFest, that I'm not totally into the idea of Stormblood. How I understand people being a little bit upset, mostly because we still get a ton of attention doing the show, and they do not. Like, they're sitting around with their 64 Twitter followers, and that's all that they can they
jacking it to Mikote Fudaka.
They can stream to like 8 people if they're lucky. But and the thing is they sit around and they look at our streams like I'll sometimes log on and not do anything. Just let you guys look at my character not doing anything and play music for you. Like, I'll do that. I'll fucking do that for sure. But I mean, like, it's just like, why does wear my character progression is right now matter. It doesn't.
It informs your opinion.
Even
though your opinion is right.
I don't remember
about everything.
I don't remember having the story discussion on this show yet, right? Like, have we talked really deep about the story? No.
Well, we're waiting on your asses.
Yeah, that's exactly actually why. But
no, I'm pretty sure we would have waited at least this long to do it anyway.
All right, fine. You know what? Let's do it next week then. How about that?
All right, I like that idea a lot.
Okay.
I'm not going to be here next week.
Well, now we have to wait on Nika. You see, it's a two-way fucking street.
Yeah. So, anyway, Doris, appreciate the call. Appreciate hearing from you on Limit Break Radio. Got any shout-outs before we let you go?
Shout out to my free company, Fleer.
All right, there you go. Shout out to Doris's free company. So thank you very much, Doris of Tonberry. If you want to call the show, Limit Break Radio on Skype, 810-515-8715, limitbreakradio.com/Discord. We'll take your call if we can. Volkai, calm down, dude. No one asked you to pull over for a half an hour.
That's right.
And the fact that you called the other show, we let you on, and it sounded like garbage. You probably should have been able to know that we weren't going to go directly fucking to you on Limit Break Radio. Just maybe a thought. All right, we've got what? We've got more of these?
We do.
Jesus
Now,
fucking Christ, Reddit. How much do you love me?
These next two kind of go hand in hand. The first one's against you. The second one's defending you. So the first comment comes from Jasun L, which, spoilers, that is a combination of Peter Quill's father from the Marvel comic universe and the House of L, which is Superman's family from the DC universe. So this guy is super cool.
Oh.
I don't know why she, referring to Nika, doesn't ditch the rest of those losers. She is the only one who even has a real job. I don't know what that has to do with the podcast.
I don't know either.
And we'll just leave
its credibility. It totally does.
We will leave the debate of whether teaching is a real job for a later
get
date.
The fuck out the front door right now.
So Grindy McGrind,
Get out.
he comes to your defense. As much as I dislike Aniero's show personality, he has a real job. He's in radio production. That's why LBR sounds so good. Their content isn't the best, but their production level for audio is good.
Yeah. I'll take it.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
That's not bad at all.
That's not bad.
There was actually quite a few comments to that same kind of style, like saying that, like, yeah, I don't really agree with their show, but their audio and their quality and production is top notch.
Yeah, you can't match it.
Yeah.
Well,
how hard is it to balance audio levels?
It's not.
Apparently,
it's
really,
not.
really
Well,
hard.
it's more than that. How much is it to just shut up your dog or your child
Oh my God.
from crying in the background?
I'm talking right now. You guys can hear me. This is great. I'm gonna host the show, and we're really loud. Okay, this is great. Okay, let's move on to the next topic.
So, listen, it's actually not that hard. What is harder is getting multiple people to sit down in the same room together to be able to have that studio quality, right? Like we've actually had that for almost the entire run of Limit Break Radio. And it is definitely one of our competitive advantages. The studio quality is absolutely, I think, what has been able to drive the popularity of things like Final Encountercast and give us opportunities like Checkpoint. So, and that was in large part thanks to our patron donors.
Which, we're using your money to get Checkpoint on the air by paying.
That's right. Yeah, we're paying radio stations, apparently. No, but, while you guys didn't buy the microphones, those were mine. While you guys didn't, you didn't buy the recorder, that was mine. You guys did provide us with the ability to have a larger mixer, which is how we're able to have Nika and calls and drops all at the same time. Those were, at one point, they were relegated to a single fader.
Yep.
It's how we're able to have multiple computers in this studio.
The Kook-puter.
The Kook-puter.
Yep.
And how Juxta is able to read things because he has a computer in front of him.
And also we had to, get him a formal education.
I was going to say Juxta can read things.
and the reason that the stream is so stable and looks so good is because of the computer upgrades that we've been able to buy. So, I mean, it's not like I don't have anything invested in this either, and it's not like I didn't bring anything to the table. I absolutely did. So, and this is a part of my job outside of Limit Break Radio. They're absolutely right. They're accurate on that point. So I can't fault them for that. I wish people understood that, the quality is something, yes, that does come second nature, but when that quality is kind of stripped away like it was in the last 2 episodes, that there's a big difference even in the energy of the show. I think, long-term listeners to the program would be able to notice the marked departure, not just in quality, but in terms of dynamics that the last 2 shows offered.
Clamp your gob, you fucking moron!
As well as the drops. Thank you, Juxta. Damn
it!
But not just that, which is, again, another thing that my expertise is able to provide. But not just that, but, and not to speak, poorly of the energy. It was just different. And the energy was, I think, maybe a little bit more
civil,
state of the realm-ish.
You're a bitch. Okay. Now
I've been holding on.
You just went there.
You suck at everything.
I've been holding on to that one for like 7 days.
I need to know now who out of these two, who's happy and who is sly.
Come on.
Please don't.
Come on. No, you gotta.
You know the answer to this
I want
already.
you to say it out loud.
Juxta is, of course, sly.
Oh, that means that Nika's Mr. Happy.
That's right.
Oh my God.
Congratulations, Mrs. Happy.
Don't start those
Mrs.
rumors.
Honestly, for the rest of the show.
Honestly, let me ask our fans. Like at that point, like was the show that much different from either a State of the Realm or a Mog Talk? Because
I don't like the tone of your voice.
I think we still had enough jokes and chemistry between hosts bashing each other that it was still
air quotes.
We had our fair share of host banter that I think that other shows still don't have in terms of chemistry.
I think at times
I think we still were there.
I think at times when you guys were on that it was closer to State of the Realm and when you
all in the ass, you fucking treasonous puppets.
And when you were maybe off or talking over one another, it was a little bit more like Eighth Right Radio. Maybe. Is that fair? Is that a little bit fair to say? I mean, if you're so basically what I'm saying is that you're on the spectrum.
Have no balls.
You're on the spectrum from Eighth Right Radio to State of the Realm, but that
you're nothing but a spineless, no balls loser.
I love these new drops.
These are all Twin Peaks. You're just making his boner bigger.
I know. They're just making me happy.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. Hi. Now you're happy.
Yay!
So this next one is probably the biggest troll that I saw the entire thread from Jordan16.
What?
I'm halfway on the Juxta Mode episode, and I changed my opinion on Juxta. Yeah. He is actually a well-informed player.
Okay, yeah, this is a troll.
His trolls on the regular episodes is just an act.
Yeah.
Yeah, Juxta, and I mean, Juxta had a few things to say, but he was kind of the comedic relief.
What? Get the fuck out of here. Clearly, Giorn16 knows what's up.
Yep.
It's called being an actor, something Kyle would know nothing about.
Of course. This
no,
next
he's an actor.
Actor. This next one comes from LeBong James 420 Blaze.
LeBong, wait.
LeBong James.
LeBong James
420 Blaze.
Okay.
Oh, I get it now because of the 420 Blaze. I didn't get it before.
Well, of course, LeBong James 420 is going to be taken already, so you got to add the Blaze on there at the end.
Aniero is a con artist. He makes money from making a podcast about an MMO he doesn't play, and he also has a radio show about esports, which I am 100% sure he does not play any esports game. That dude is a hack. Do you play any esports games?
He doesn't say play in esports, just any esports games.
Yeah. Do you play any esports games?
I mean,
Pokemon.
Yeah. Pokemon is...
All right, there.
And some people had some good defenses to that, actually, in defense of you. They said, most football hosts haven't played football, but they're still fans of football. They can still understand football and host a show about football. You can be a fan of esports without actually playing.
Absolutely.
That is a total, that totally...
So in this guy's mind, just because I don't play, not that I haven't played, but that I don't actively play... Dota 2 or League of Legends or Overwatch or Counter-Strike, that all of my opinions blanketly about video games and esports can just be dismissed.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, that's correct.
It's an interesting theory.
Yep. This next one from PK Rockin' Alpha.
Hold on.
What?
Can we assume that LeBong James 420 Blaze doesn't listen to the show?
Probably.
I'm gonna guess.
Then why does he's not qualified to actually talk about what's on our show or who we are people?
That's
right?
That's interesting dogmatic thought there, Juxta. Yeah, if you carried their logic out to its
Inevitable
conclusion, yeah, then that's totally.
Wow, Juxta was a smart for a second there.
Told you it was an act.
So PK Rockin' Alpha says, I still don't believe in Nero when he says he has never found a video game or anime character remotely attractive. Even my most normie of normie friends have said certain anime game characters are hot.
And monkeys might fly out of my butt.
Really? This is the thing that I'm being challenged on?
He just doesn't believe it.
How is it?
I don't believe it either still.
Okay, canon, Nika is PK Rockin' Alpha.
Can I ask a question? This is a genuine question here, okay? Like, honestly. I'm pretty sure the last show I was on, I made a brutal Hiroshima and Nagasaki joke. And the thing that people are latching on to is the fucking anime characters.
They just don't believe you. Why would you lie about that?
Again.
Yeah, I refuse to believe that you have never had a boner while playing through Metal Gear Solid for Snake.
No, it's more like I've had a boner for Kojima, the actual person. So that's different.
Kojima's still a robot, though.
Again, I have not experienced it personally, so therefore I do not understand people's attraction to purely fictional characters, right? Like, there are video game characters who are modeled off of real life people, right? But that is, I think, a little bit different. Quiet Stephanie Justin, I think her name is, right? Like,
yes,
that is a person. Stephanie Justin is hot. Fucking Quiet is a fucking bunch of pixels. I can be attracted to Stephanie Justin, but I've never been attracted to Quiet.
Okay, so let's say we take Jessica Rabbit and you put her into a video game on Nintendo, then you can be attracted to Jessica Rabbit. Right?
Jessica Rabbit's a cartoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now she's in a video game and she's based on a real person.
But she's
in a movie.
Not based on a real person, she's based on a real cartoon.
The Roger Rabbit movie, only Roger Rabbit was a cartoon. Everyone else was a real person.
No.
Nika, please stop talking.
Please, yeah, stop. Don't say.
The really old
No. Don't say anything more, and just promise that you're going to rewatch Roger Rabbit later. Because within about 5 or 10 minutes, you're going to go, oh fuck, there's so much more to this movie that I forgot.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Okay.
I could have sworn the original movie was like that.
Stop.
Nika. Anyway,
you're thinking Cool World.
Yes. Cool. Well, but Cool World had a lot of.
That was another trap.
Anyway, by the way, I loved Cool World.
Yeah, because fucking
Ralph Bakshi.
Hollywood was hot too.
Ralph Bakshi was the guy who made it.
Hold on. Yeah, that's a good point. What? Hollywood. She is a drawn character.
But she was drawn based off of a real person and her movements.
No, but she became a real person.
What do you mean? Oh, you mean at the end of the movie?
Yeah, she became a real person.
But shut the fuck up. That is the person who the animation cell frames were based off of.
No.
Ralph Bakshi.
Clearly, they drew Hollywood first and then found an actress to portray her.
Ralph Bakshi is very famous for his rotoscoping abilities. Rotoscoping is where you film
in a rowboat and you listen to the water.
Fuck off, dude! Shut the fuck up. It's where you film something and then you go and you use the individual frames to animate. You basically draw on those.
It's basically plagiarism.
Cell frames to be able to create the animation. Mm-hmm. They actually used that a lot for some of the dancing sequences in things like Snow White and a lot of the early Disney films. But rotoscoping is a pretty common practice, especially for more complex movements that needed keyframe animations to be able to do. And so, Cool World was based off of that. And so, yeah, they actually had an actress that they drew frames from, and then that's the actress that you see at the end. So
why do you gotta ruin my joke?
Because it wasn't a very good one.
because they're bad.
It was a very, very bad one.
Yeah, but now you just spent like 5-10 minutes explaining my bad joke and how it wasn't even relevant.
And
it wasn't relevant in the first place.
But at least that taught people something, because I actually didn't know what rotoscoping was.
Do you feel stupid yet?
I feel like rotoscoping should still be something you do in a rowboat.
I mean, you could.
No, I think it'd be kind of difficult.
But you
rowboat rotoscoping, that should be like an Olympic sport.
All right. We're going to skip this next comment because we've already talked about it, and I don't want to give this guy any
Fair
more
enough.
time. This is my favorite comment from the whole thing. This comes from Sabashi. Am I the only one who listens for the dick jokes? Sorry, guys. If you went to LBR
Tis
hoping
no
to
dick.
feel enlightened, you went to the wrong podcast.
Yeah, that's fair.
Want to hear about dicks? Like tons of dicks?
Or cock.
Flopping into your ears? If you're into penile discussion, LBR is great. That's why I come back every week.
Awesome.
This guy gets it.
Finally, somebody else who gets it too. Yeah.
Yes.
Look, again, we've never made this show with the pretense that you're going to learn things from it. Like, that's never been... It's never been a goal.
We say that on a regular basis, and yet people still say that we claim to know everything and do everything.
But why would you ever produce something that's not meant to be informational?
Look, you just learned what rotoscoping was. How are we not informational?
You know what it's like? It's like we do this show for fun.
You can't do the show for fun, though, because you're getting money from it.
Plus, people hate it. So how is it that we're having fun if other people aren't?
Right.
Come on.
What?
Honestly, how many times have I said, like we do this show because, we do love Final Fantasy XIV. That doesn't change. By the way, there was a quote that I had put out there more than a few times, that the opposite of love is not hate, it's indifference. A lot of people took that to mean that that I somehow hated them, or it got misinterpreted a bunch.
Basically, they interpreted it as indifference is hate.
But what I'm saying is that, if you want to know how I feel about FF14, I haven't stopped caring about it, right? Like, if I stopped caring about it, this show would end. Like, I would stop doing this show. I would do exactly what you folks want me to do, and I would fucking quit. And I'd move on, and I'd do other things with my time. But indifference, like not caring anymore, is far more detrimental than criticizing or hating, whatever you want to fucking call it.
Yeah, if he was indifferent about the game, we wouldn't exist.
I mean, that's true. That's true.
Please hate. Hate is entertaining. Nikki, you want to read this next one?
Well, I thought you were skipping around. Do you like the very next one?
Yep, the one by LV Neptune.
Sure. Okay. It says, I'm not vouching for anyone, and to be honest, I haven't listened to their show in years, but they throw a hell of a party if you were at Vegas for FanFest.
Fuck yeah! See, we ain't douche nozzles.
But only a douche nozzle would throw
Well, they said we were only douche nozzles at the first FanFest. That includes just me and Aniero.
But you guys still had a party at the first FanFest.
We
it was
did,
At,
and it
Insert
was
Coins.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're a douche nozzle.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we're actually down to the last comment. We're not going to read the last one because it's, again, one that we talked about where they're all like, hey, why are you guys paying people to put stuff on the thing? All right, so this last one is for Aniero, and I'm trying to stall as much as I can because he left the studio even though you can't see that, and I'm waiting for him to get back. But anyway, this comes from Estoppel Fox. Now, this is only a small part of his comment. He actually had like 3 big paragraphs, and he was kind of actually mostly, I'd say, in support of us as a show or as a concept, okay? But he says, I haven't caught up completely yet, but I've been listening to all the episodes that I'd missed since I last played. A bit after Heaven's Word launch, I picked up at the infamous Salted Earth episode. Listening to all the episodes like that, and not just as they come out, you can see Aniero has been quite drastically getting more and more hyperbolic to a slightly worrying degree.
I could see why people would have that criticism.
Are you getting parabolic?
No.
Am I? I don't know. Am I paraplegic?
Hyperbolic.
Oh.
Are you going around like a little curve?
I'm hyperextending.
He's making a parabola joke.
Parabola. I hate that word so much.
I hyperextended myself.
So you're becoming slightly more hyperbolic to a slightly worrying degree.
Yeah.
To a slightly worrying degree.
Yeah, so he's getting worried.
But you're getting more and more hyperbolic over time.
Yeah.
And it's scary. They're afraid.
It's scary.
Ooh, my words and ideas and emotions frighten people.
Well, they worry.
This is
They
actually
worry him.
almost depressing.
It worries him because I think he is someone who's saying that he likes our show, but he's worried for its direction.
I think, well, look, man, I think you should be more worried about the game and its direction. I mean,
Fair.
that's the thing is that, like, people seem to think that, like, just because we make money off of this show and that this show is about a single game, that we have to somehow sycophant, like in some sort of sycophant manner, just like consistently praise it. And it's
keep in
like,
mind, if this show got really, really good, our tune would change. I mean, if this game got really, really good.
You want to know the difference and actually juxta-witness this firsthand? Go back and find the episode that we did on Heaven's Ward's launch.
Yeah.
If you listen to that, it is jarring, the difference. Like, Juxta said he listened to it and he's like, I couldn't even believe that was us.
Yeah.
I mean, that's... And
we were all really excited about it.
I think the difference is the optimism that's there. Like we're talking about what could be good about the expansion. We're laying out our expectations, and then you compare that with what we actually ended up getting.
Right, and then what we see now at the launch of the next expansion, and it's way too hard after its track record on the release of another expansion to have that same kind of optimism.
Yeah, exactly. What's hard to understand about this? Like what exactly is so difficult to, the logic bridge that you're not allowed to cross here? I mean, I feel like it's mostly defensiveness about, whether or not they picked the right game to invest themselves in. For most of these people who quote unquote hate us, they're going to be on to playing WoW, a better game, in 3 months anyway.
Look,
so
in the arena of logic, these people fight unarmed.
First of all, again, no one from our audience in their right mind would use Reddit to try to deliver a message to us. So I'm pretty sure that our base is pretty satisfied with the direction of the show.
Mm-hmm.
I feel bad for the OP who really just wanted an opinion on the last two shows and who watched
I think
it.
so.
And he had like 2 people actually respond to that.
But I think a very valid point was raised by asking like, okay, well, who exactly are the people that are so dissatisfied that they can flood a thread of 200, 300 comments? And the answer is people who don't listen, people who have never been invested in this show. And there's no shortage of media organizations or shows that try to court that audience. I mean, Final Fantasy's doing it. They're trying to court an audience that they do not have instead of worrying about losing the people that they do. And I think that, while we may not make every decision and that there are people who are obviously going to bail, there are people who have bailed from this show for a variety of different reasons. Not just that I'm an asshole. That's only one of them. Okay?
It's actually a small one.
Comparatively?
Yeah.
Yeah. When you compare that up against the amount of people we've lost to not caring about this game anymore, it doesn't even begin to stack up. There are more people who would like to listen to my assholey antics, or whatever you want to call them, that would rather listen to it that have stopped playing this game 2 years ago, that still tune in just to hear what we have to say. I'm not going to take all the credit there. I'll take 50% of it. You guys can have the rest.
I get 49.
You get the rest of the 50 to divvy among yourself. But, you can't really ignore that. And especially, again, there are no shortage of media organizations that would look at those 200, 300 comments and go, well, that's 200, 300 people that we could have listening to the show. Whereas my approach is, fuck you if you don't want to listen to the show. I don't really care. We do well enough, regardless if Reddit is mad at us or not, that I don't feel like I have to placate this section of the audience whatsoever. Again, we talked about this before. They just moved the goalposts, even if I had done everything that they're criticizing me for right now. Look at Mr. Happy. All right? Like, Mr. Happy is a guy who does and says, like, really, by the book, all the right shit. And he invests himself in the content, and he knows it in and out. And yet, what the fuck does everyone say about him? Oh, I like MTQ Capture better. Or, you know, like, oh, he was such a dick at FanFest. Like, there's all this stupid anecdotal bullshit that gets brought up about visible people in this community all the time. And even among the people who do all the right shit. I mean, it's like a 50-50 shot whether or not, you know, Reddit or official forums, whenever his name is brought up, that they're going to like him or dislike him.
Within our thread, there was a subsection of people that were hating on Mr. Happy.
And there was a whole section talking about other podcasts and stuff too. Like, what?
And the thing is, like, I don't begrudge him of that. Like, you know, like
no, we need to be mean at him because he's gotten success.
He actually invited us to his private party at FanFest up in his room, so we're cool.
That's right. Yeah, we had to wear masks and take off our pants, but, you know, other than that, it was pretty normal.
Yeah. Plus, if we say anything bad, Mrs. Happy might tell him.
Oh, my God. But I mean, like, let's be real, though. Mr. Happy's a variety streamer now because you can't just stream this game because there's not much to do.
Whoa, Nika. You can't say anything bad about the game because it's a great game and there's tons of content at 70.
So much.
And you guys don't know because you're not 70 yet.
But my point, dude, my point is that, like, this is a guy that still invests himself to the fullest in this game, and there is no shortage of criticism for him. So, if that's the score, FF14 community, why should it be any different from me? Right? Like,
because you're only level 64.
But why? No. My question is, why should I try to placate you any more or less than the people who are working their ass off for it and not being able to gain that ground anyway? What's the fucking point?
Because I'm special.
None of us are special. None of the 5 of us are special. That's why I've never sat around and held you guys to some sort of standard on what you need to have complete and what you don't. I don't ask you how far you are in the game before we sit down and do this show. I've never done that to any of our hosts. I don't care. What you bring to this show is not your direct experience in FF14. It's all of your collective experience that you've had before that as well.
And our dick jokes.
Dick jokes especially.
I mean, and no one has unsubbed. No one has pulled the actual financial plug and said, I'm fully done with this 100%. Because that may change the conversation. Now that I've said that, people are going to be like, oh, well, in like 6 months, Juxta will mention that he's unsubbed, and they'll be like, oh, now you've got to throw Juxta off the show.
You're giving me a lot of credit for 6 months.
But I mean, like,
I've half unsubbed.
Stop paying for his retainers.
Yeah.
How's he supposed to get to his glamour now?
Who cares? Oh, wait, I have a drop for that.
If Juxta is at the point of saying who cares about glamour,
something's going on.
Who cares?
The game has problems. And I mean,
where are we going?
Where are we going?
Where are we going?
Yoshi pattern, where are we going?
All right. We got another call on the line, right?
Yeah.
We're all done with our comments, by the way.
Oh, we are.
We are.
Oh, thank God.
We're done talking about you, Reddit. Fuck off.
That only took 2 fucking hours.
Hour and a half.
Anyway, let's go back to our...
This is why Reddit keeps making threads about us, because they love the attention we give them.
I feel like they kind of do. That's okay, because I love the attention back. That's fine. Anyway, let's go back to our phone lines and talk to Rendos Eros of Leviathan. What's up, Rendos?
Hey, guys.
Damn, it is a guy.
What up, though?
Just want to say I love the show. Keep up doing what you guys are doing.
Which version of the show do you love?
All of the show, because the show is about opinions. So you get rid of one opinion, you only have one side of things, it's going to suck. It's going to be Mr. Happy.
Come on now.
Dang.
No,
I watch him too.
I know.
I enjoy the show.
You know what though?
I honestly, like, some of the shit that Happy gets is just like sarcastic eye rolling, like, oh yeah, fuck Mr. Happy, man.
I think I actually like that description of us better than more than just we're entertainment, because that tends to vary whether or not people think we're entertaining or not, right? But a show about opinions, no one can really debate that.
That's true. That's true. That is in and of itself an opinion. And you can't really... I mean, you can debate opinions back and forth, but I mean, there's really no right answer.
Yeah, we're not saying that it's right or wrong, but we have opinions, whether or not they're shitty or not.
We're definitely saying that Reddit is wrong.
Oh,
here.
yeah, Reddit is.
I mean, just collectively, all the time, with anything that they try to assert, ever. So, there's that.
Yep, fuck those guys.
Anyway, Rendos, anything else to add?
Basically, I just wanted to talk about the last two shows.
Sure.
I did really enjoy the first of the two that are Juxta and Nika were on, because they talked about, I guess, the game in general and what they enjoyed and what they didn't enjoy. And they talked about it in I don't know how to put it, what words to put it into. And I was
boring way.
Comment about, I guess you can put it that way, Caleb. And I was going to actually pick on you because you said earlier about Aniero's opinion being right, but opinion can't be right or wrong. It's just your opinion again.
Mm-hmm.
So
he's got you there.
Especially about raid content that you have not done. Don't give an opinion like that on something because you said horrible experiences of the raid content that is existing. They weren't your exact words, but that's what you said. But how can you give that opinion that it's a horrible experience if you haven't done it?
He's never said it was a horrible experience.
I never did.
Well, from what I recall,
not Aniero. Kahlo said that.
Okay. I'm off the hook on this one. I'm all right. I'm going to just sit back.
Okay,
I'm in the hot seat. Yeah, Kahlo.
Yeah, talking loudly. Yeah.
I'm going to come to the defense here. That neither of them have said that. What they've tried rating, at least Aniero has in the past, and they know how the rating system works, and they can have an equal enough opinion to say that this is more of the same. I am not interested. That is the opinion that they've always been throwing. Never once have they ever said, "Oh, the mechanics are bad and the experience is horrible." Like,
right.
Nobody here.
Well, okay,
said
hold
that.
on. I'd like to say something now, though, right? Because as rating is now with Omega Savage, it's all circle room, boss in the center. Right. That experience.
That format.
Terrible.
That format.
Fine. That format. The experience you get from that format,
It's
to
it
me,
feels like a primal.
is terrible.
Yeah, and
I've done real raids before. Maybe not in this game, but raids that feel like actual zones with multiple bosses that have lore implications. That type of experience, that type of environment is fun. A single room with a single monster isn't.
Yeah, I think most of our criticism, especially for raiding and the end game fights or encounters in this game, have been more about the format and the presentation and less about the fights themselves. Now,
I would actually argue.
We've had multiple fights that said like, "Oh, the mechanics of this fight are really, really fun."
Yeah.
But it's just that we're burnt out on the presentation of it, and that's more of the same.
Absolutely, and I stand by that. I don't know whether or not the mechanics of Omega are fun or not, and I'm fine with that. The fact that it's being presented as four single boss encounters is where I go, ugh.
Yep, it feels exactly like we got 4 more X-Finals.
Yes. And the thing is that I don't need the experience to tell me that I don't like that presentation, right? Like, I don't need to experience the storyline. All I need is the information that it's 4 disconnected boss fights in circle arenas. That fact, right? You can't change that, right? Like, it's an inconvenient fact for the argument of trying to say FF14 does rating well, which has been more at the heart of our conversations, whether or not the format of rating that FF14 is presenting is engaging. Not even valid. Like, it is valid. People can do it. The only way that it wouldn't be valid is if you couldn't do it, is if there was no way to complete it. It's valid. It's valid content. But the presentation is exactly the same or even less than what we got in previous expansions and patches.
I would even go as far to argue that given how rating is right now with Omega, that the fact that it's basically just 4 primals now, that Kahlo and I have done endgame rating because they're EX primals now.
Got 'em!
Essentially.
Do you refute that?
I'm not. I would. Me?
Especially
No,
because
I don't.
Anybody, anyone.
Especially because pug groups really suck at the X primals as they are. So like, if you're doing them, I consider that enough for what we're getting in the game.
I don't begrudge you of this. No.
Kaulo, welcome to the rating scene.
Well, he hasn't done
ranked.
X primals because he's still not 70.
We've still done primals though, EX primals.
Yeah, and
that's rating now.
70.
Yeah, that's your capped. That's your that's the format of your capped content.
Yeah.
Have a boss encounter.
That's pretty much what I wanted to hear in general, just from Mika, Kyle, and you, because I was just picking on your generality of what you guys said earlier, because that's what stuck out to me. I had a bunch more stuff that I wanted to say, but as the show went on, you guys had talked about everything.
Yeah, as is the nature with a talk show. But I mean, like to that specific point, what the generality that I made was that comparatively, and this is just measuring sentiment alone, that comparatively, Binding Coil got closer to what this community's expectations are for the idea and concept and presentation of a raid than Alexander or Omega. Mm-hmm. I don't need to know any of the details of Omega to know what the presentation is, right? So that, I think that is a perfectly fair comparative statement, especially when you I mean, there's a lot of similar sentiment around Alexander, or around Omega that existed around Alexander, and a lot of a repetition of the presentation. That's all you need to know to be able to form that opinion. You don't need to actually have experienced any of that, and it's valid. Like, the thing is again, the notion is valid. And to have that argument, you now have to argue on its face the format of the raid and not whether or not I've been through it or not. Because whether I've been through it or not has no standing on the opinion. The opinion wouldn't change on the other side of Omega. Because it's pretty much presented in the same format as Alexander. And I did Alexander already, which is a stripped down version of what we got in A Realm Reborn. So it is, I'll grant you it's reductive logic, okay? And that it relies on secondhand information a little bit. Mm-hmm. I mean, can we all agree that I was not going to be on the bleeding edge of being able to complete content given what my schedule was around when the time of this game was released, right? Like, can we just all kind of, in a way, like, can we just agree on that point alone?
Yeah.
Right?
No.
Yeah, no.
Okay. All right.
I disagree.
So at that point, right, like, I was doing my job and continuing to measure sentiment and keep up with what people were saying about this game.
Right. And when we have two people on this panel of hosts of this podcast that were actually doing the raids, I feel like I would expect you would trust our opinions.
Exactly.
And in that case, we are like one show as an entity and therefore like can talk about, I don't know.
See, that's the nice thing of having people with multiple levels of experience is if someone actually does say something that's genuinely out of touch, someone else can reel them back in.
That's exactly it. I would have fully expected you guys to tell me to shut the fuck up if I had said something really off base. You guys would have called me on it.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, some of these comments make it sound like your guys' involvement in this show is much more akin to Stockholm Syndrome.
Oh, Aniero shuts down everybody's opinion. Doesn't let anybody else talk.
I want to leave, but I can't.
Anyway, Rendos, thank you for the call. If you want to call Limit Break Radio on Skype, 810-515-8715, limitbreakradio.com/Discord. So we've heard all about Reddit's new favorite episode. So I thought it might be a good idea, and this is a common thing in the world of broadcasting, so don't freak out, guys. But I thought that I would air check you guys. I would air check the two shows that I was not here for. So
we're gonna throw it in the air?
No. We're gonna listen to sections of it together as a group, and I'm gonna give you a peer review.
Okay,
why is it called air check?
We were actually already there, so we can just leave while you do this, right?
No,
we already know what we sounded like, and we were awesome.
Yeah. See, it's the feedback and the improvements, the list of improvements that I'm going to lay out for you guys.
But as Reddit has clearly demonstrated, you don't give constructive feedback. You just yell at people.
And you just shut down our opinion, so why would we take anything you say
Shut up,
seriously?
Nika. That may be what happens.
You shouldn't have walked out on the show.
That's my feedback.
Look, I think that, if I'm going to give you guys feedback, that it's only fair to do it on the air. I mean,
is that why it's called an air check?
It's called an air check because
do other radio stations do this on the air?
No, they don't do it on the air. Generally, you do this in your boss's
Wait, so then
office.
why are we doing this in front of thousands of people?
Why is
Thousands of people.
Why is it on the air?
Because I think that's more entertaining, and I think it's more honest too. It's more transparent.
It's also more our style.
It's more transparent.
All right, so let's
Well,
rip
that's
apart.
what we're all about at LBR, transparency.
All right, you know what? Fine. Let's just cut the fat. You're fired. All right, we can go, Nika.
You can't get rid of me that easy.
Okay, so I've picked out a couple of selections from both those shows, and marked them off. Sometimes what you can do for an air check, especially if you run like a talk show, is you can just drop into the middle of a show and just sort of like listen to it in a 60-second at a glance sort of way and be able to provide feedback, right? Like this is
60 seconds.
No, it'll vary. At least what I picked out will vary. But some places, the way that they do air checks, your boss will just drop into the middle of it and not even pick things out to talk about.
Well, this doesn't really make sense in the context of LBR because you're not our boss.
Am I?
No.
I mean, I kind of, I am. I'm definitely, I definitely run this. Listen, if you listened to the last two episodes, you know that I run this ship here.
We were there.
Yeah, you were present. That's about.
Well, this obviously means
about
that
all I'm
Aniero
willing to give you.
can never have another vacation ever again.
That is pretty true.
Okay,
that is pretty true.
At least he's losing something.
So, Juxta, have you got our different sections loaded up here?
Yes.
All right. So, I want to start with episode 121, which that was Juxta and Nika. And
excuse me, say it by the show's name. Thank you. Have some respect.
Anyway, so I want to start.
Okay, Juxta, good job.
I want to start with Nika's opening read. So,
that was amazing.
Well, just here. By the way, we're listening to the podcast version, just so you guys have. I asked you guys to listen to the podcast version so you guys would have some context of what it sounds like after I go and I put all of the stuff in. I don't know that you actually did it.
After he pretties it up.
Yeah,
you can't prove that we didn't.
I can't prove that you didn't, but that's why we're doing this on the show, so that I can know in my heart of hearts that you have.
Oh, so we're forced to listen to it.
That's right. Hit the fucking play button.
Do you find yourself bound by the most savage of duties? Enjoy getting pounded for hours on end?
Notice how much this read improves just with the music behind her.
With no hope of things getting smoother?
Because the music knows.
Fret not, adventurer. For we have just the
No, well, but I was the one that selected the music. I put the music in.
That was pretty. Well, that's what we wanted for this. Something like that.
Yeah, I know. And I did see like what I bring to the show.
Okay, congratulations.
I know.
You're trying. Well, we already know that you bring good production. We've never done.
Nika, I'm trying to listen. I haven't heard this yet.
Because coming comes after the fist.
Fisting jokes.
I love that little whistle in there. That's brilliant.
I bet that wasn't there originally, and he had to add that himself.
My audiomancy skills.
I doubt it.
I
have that song.
My audiomancy skills.
You have that song
are
on
so
my
good.
computer.
Why?
It's a Final Fantasy IV remix.
Yeah,
idiot.
Theme of Love, sax version. You can look it up. It's by Sean Shanansky.
I love sex.
Saxophone.
What?
Sax.
Well, he loves sax too.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway,
perfect.
So this goes hand in hand. Please load up marker 2 there. This goes hand in hand. Let's listen now to the opening read or the opening of the show that Nika did. So.
Hello, everybody. I hope you enjoyed my really awkward reading of that. Welcome to the absolute best episode of Limit Break Radio.
Pause, please. Pause.
You don't even believe what you're saying yourself, Nika.
Nika.
In my defense, I was scared out of my fucking mind.
Nika.
So I think for what it's worth, it's pretty good.
You don't need to explain. It only takes one time explaining that, look, we don't have music today so that we can be able to better produce the podcast. Once you say that, before you start doing the show, you don't need to keep mentioning that it's awkward or doesn't have music, right? Like,
okay, but the chat was making it a thing. I was playing off of them.
Of course the chat makes it a thing. The chat makes everything a thing.
We were low budget LBR and I was rolling with it.
You don't need to constantly explain that in the context of the show.
You know what you sounded like? You sounded like someone riddled with anxiety who has been emotionally abused all their life and has to apologize for everything.
Yeah.
Who hurt
so
you,
exactly
Nika?
how I am.
Who hurt you, Nika?
She is a woman. That's fine.
It's all of you.
So,
this is what I put up with.
Nika, can we please at least try to have a united front on this? Don't back down so easily.
I'm strong.
That was perfect and fitting for the opening read for Nika position.
Keep playing.
Ever.
Featuring me.
Oh my god.
Hi, Juxta.
And Nika, I guess.
Yes, because we are the coolest hosts of LBR, the only ones that matter, and now you guys are so excited to be here for this show.
Am I excited, Nika?
The chat said they were.
You can feel the energy bursting from us.
Yeah, the autism energy.
Now, what? You guys followed this up by introducing your guests for the show, which, Nika, I'm going to compliment you and say very good selection on guests with Strife.
Thank you.
Enjoyed listening to his opinions.
I kissed him once.
I thought that
no fair. I don't have my drops open.
I thought that he did a very good job adding.
Jeez, they're even slow.
Yeah, they're low. Yeah, they're low. You know why? Because everything that I produce is at full volume and perfect. That's why.
That was.
Well, no, it's at a different. God damn you! It's a different piece of software, you idiot. Anyway, no, I definitely enjoyed listening to Strife. I thought he added a lot. Now, Juxta.
Yes.
You brought on a guest as well.
I did.
What?
And
I had a little.
Have you not listened to this episode?
I listened
a big
to the
person.
first few minutes of it as I was going to sleep, and I have never had such a good night's rest.
First of all, yeah, like the whole push to talk vibe that you guys had going on the entire episode, that definitely left something to be desired.
We didn't have the Zoom login info, so that's all we had to work with, man.
Nika,
I didn't do push to talk. Thank you very much. I know that it's bad.
Yeah, but but your mic would still. It wasn't open the whole time. It was still like when you weren't talking, it would close.
Yeah.
So it was still push to talk in terms of audio production.
A lot of background noise too. I mean, no one.
There was a lot of background noise.
I mean, yeah.
For our mics turning off in between speaking, there was background noise?
No. When your mics were active and I could hear your voices, I could hear the background noise.
Yeah,
Okay,
see, now
we know that Juxta had background noise, and we spent like 10 minutes trying to fix it, and we got it as best as we could.
Nika,
it's a stupid fucking headset.
Even I can explain what he's talking about. The reason we do 60 seconds of silence is so that he can tune out everyone's background noise.
That's right.
When your mics are constantly turning on and turning off and turning on and turning off, you can't get rid of the ambient background noises.
I know that. But I don't know how to do that on Discord.
So
use Zoom.
We
couldn't use Zoom. We didn't have the login info.
Really? Because I think Ascalia figured out the next week.
I asked Aniero and he goes, just use Discord. So don't even give me that bullshit. That is a true thing that happened.
Yeah, you can actually set it to just have
keep your
open
mic
mics.
constantly open. I have no idea how to do that, and we didn't have the time to fuck around with it. And regardless, it was Juxta's fucking headset that gave background noise.
Then you didn't allocate enough time for yourself to set up then.
I spent like hours trying to update and figure out stream shit and like test it on others' Twitch channels that nobody would find. It was horrible, and I tried my best. And it seriously, Juxta needs a better headset. That background noise, we tried really hard.
We are an iron wall. Do not break and crumble, okay?
All right.
I can hear you breaking. Be
but
strong.
I still believe you need a better headset, so get one.
Aniero, I will give you $20 if you can get her to cry this episode.
I think we might be halfway there.
I I'm not going to cry.
That is a terrible bet. You will lose.
Me and Juxta stand behind our amazing product.
Okay. Well, we'll see. But anyway, Juxta, to go back to the point, you had brought on a guest as well.
Yes. He was very knowledgeable. I stand by my guest.
Skuro?
Yes.
I didn't even stand by your guest. I'm not backing you up on this one.
There goes the Iron Curtain.
I'm sorry. On the show, I wasn't about this, and I'm still not about this.
You know what? No, here's his rating credentials. He pugged OS 1 and he beat it before Nika.
I understand, but you need to understand the damage that you've just done, because there were people in the Reddit thread that were giving him compliments. Okay? That's a problem. That's a serious problem that needs to stop right the fuck now. The only way we get anything done from him is if we beat him mercilessly day after day. You know what he's like? He's LBR's Reek, okay? You can't, do not bring back Theon Greyjoy. We need Reek to be able to have YouTube content, okay? You gave him a little bit of his identity back. You are now responsible, Juxta, for re-breaking Skuro.
Yeah, and if it doesn't work, then we're gonna have to kill you in front of him.
I don't know what that would solve.
It would send him back because he's anchored to you now.
Actually, maybe if we just kidnapped him.
There you go. And then sent pictures of somebody like raping Juxta.
God, I think that would fuck up any of us, honestly.
Nika, come on. Iron Curtain.
No, I'm saying I just meant like seeing a friend get raped in pictures would traumatize any of us, wouldn't it? I would be upset.
I mean, it would depend on who it was, I guess. I might be into it.
Might be into it, he said.
What?
I mean, it might be cool to see Daddy in a different position.
Oh my God. I can't. This is why I cannot be an Iron Curtain. What the fuck are you saying?
Let's go back to the air check.
To love.
Without any production sounds.
Yeah, we get it. There are no production sounds, Nika.
Now we have to explain, Nika, because the podcast will still have the production sounds, but only our Twitch viewers will not have.
Okay, all right. Okay, yes, thank you for explaining that. It didn't need explanation beyond that, but
I feel like it did.
I think it
when
did
you're
too.
listening to the fucking sounds on the podcast, that's a little bit confusing and jarring, don't you think, you dumb shit?
That's why I had to explain.
No, you didn't.
Because
you
I that would be confused.
I had to explain Nika's explanation, which had no need, but because it was said, then we had to explain.
That's actually valid, but none of it needed explaining except before the show.
Why did Reddit like this?
Why did Reddit like this? That's, I think, the question.
Because they're smart.
All right, let's go. Let's go on to the next clip, because I mean, yeah, you guys brought on the guests. Your guests, varying degrees of passable. I still don't know why you chose Skuro. Why?
It was last minute.
He's a machinist.
Yeah, so that gives him a little bit more credibility because he's, it gets beat up all the time, and he actually cleared as a machinist, I presume. So,
next clip, please.
So
everything's really awkward and weird without any sounds or intro or anything.
Is that the wrong one?
That's the same clip. That's the same clip.
Go to Mark 3.
Yeah, you got to double click to be able to take you to the right spot.
No.
Hi, Piggy.
Hi, Piggy.
You guys missed me already, I know.
Oh, okay, so this is where you're bringing on a
caller.
Yeah, you're bringing on a caller.
Not that server.
Missing your Piggy.
Wow.
Piggy face. Oh no! I just tried to stop myself from logging out and it logged me out again. Fuck this! I hate this. Why are we doing this?
Okay. All right. Pause, Nika.
Yeah.
You don't need to make mention of every technical aspect of the show, right? Like
Except for I was hosting the stream.
I get it.
And my
stream
disconnected.
Yeah, sure.
So wait, so people watching couldn't see that you got disconnected? You had to tell them?
Yeah, that's
because I knew they were going to make fun of me, and I didn't want that to happen.
Of course they're going to make fun of you. Of course they're going to make fun of you.
They didn't after I called it out first. So.
Do you realize that we get made fun of every time we have a flub in a scripted part of the show? I mean, it just comes with the territory. It's just natural.
And we had to roll with it. So
it was also because I was very against standing where we were standing, and they're like, "Yeah, you can just jump every 30 minutes and you'll be fine." And I got disconnected twice.
Let it be known, I have been against the place that we've had to do our show for the last like 5, 6, 7 shows. That has nothing to do with the show. That has everything to do with Square-Enix. So
fuck you, Square-Enix.
That's right.
Yeah.
Eat a dick.
All right.
All right, next clip here.
Next clip?
Yeah, just move on to the next one. Because that was my.
If you're a samurai, you could solo him. Oh.
I do have samurai, and I can't solo them. So
get good.
You're probably bad. Have you considered getting good?
what? I am good.
Okay. All right.
Uncertainly.
I mean, it's
okay.
also...
You can pause this. Is this what passes for humor on this show when I'm not here? Is that what you call a joke?
Was all you. So
what?
We're using your jokes.
Yeah, I know.
You're saying your jokes aren't funny?
No, what I'm saying is that you're not doing any fucking work. You're just taking my jokes
when he's not here.
You're taking my opinions, and you just take longer to say them. I mean, like what you guys took 3 hours to say, I could have said in 20 fucking minutes, and we could have moved on to the next thing.
Oh, please. For starters, when you ever say something, it always takes 3 hours to say it.
Yeah, that's true.
And we always dwell on it for 800 hours.
Yeah, and that's where we get the majority of content for the show.
What would you guys repeating?
What would you guys do week over week if it wasn't for my 4 to 7 minute rants? By the way, very specific amount of time there, Reddit.
And very wrong, by the way.
Look, just because they subscribe to the Carlos Mencia thought of humor doesn't mean that they're wrong.
I love ice cream.
That's exactly what that means. God damn it. I fucking hate you so much, Chuck.
You see, Nika, we just have to disarm them, and then we do a fine job.
We got this.
I hate that I can see the connections that he draws to get there. That's what I fucking hate about it.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Possible that, because people are saying in the chat they don't have that problem on Gilgamesh. So, I mean, I don't know if it has anything to do with our population or just that people don't want to grind hunts all day long, because now that there's 3 instances and 3 times the hunts, nobody gives a shit.
Pretty sure Sargeras is like third most populated or fourth for US, right?
Sargeras.
He did say Sargeras. Stop. Pause. Yeah, he said Sargeras. I heard that.
That is a WoW server, by the way. Sargeras.
Oh.
Strife.
Which we know he plays WoW. So.
Calling you out, buddy.
No. I think we just we have to expose the truth for where it is. I'm only level 64. This guy plays on Sargeras. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, well, what's wrong with playing a clearly superior game?
Ooh.
I got your back, Strife.
Hey, Reddit. Why aren't you getting really mad at Juxta? Get really mad at Juxta for that.
Because I'm 70.
Oh,
he was the first 70 out of all of us, actually.
I see what the difference is here.
Yeah. All right.
All right. By the way, we are air checking the last couple of episodes of Limit Break Radio here. If you want to call the show, let us know what you think of the last couple of shows. Limit Break Radio on Skype, 810-515-8715, limitbreakradio.com/Discord. We'll definitely be able to get you in and out quicker and in a more professional manner than these chucklefucks were able to do in the last 2 shows. So
unless you're Volkai.
Unless you're Volkai, in which case we're punishing you for having a shitty call earlier in the day. Anyway, Limit Break Radio on Skype, 810-515-8715. limitbreakradio.com/Discord. All right, let's move on to the next clip here, Juxta.
Okay.
I mean, the other tanks are still beating her on the meter, so that's weird.
You're
hear that bus drive by?
Are you telling me
Is this why you don't stream your raid nights, Nika? Because you're embarrassed?
No, you're telling me...
This is because you play on a controller.
Okay, let me tell you this. You're telling me that a Dark Knight not in Grit the entire time should be able to out DPS, or should not be able to out DPS a Paladin in Shield Oath the entire time? Like, let's be real.
Okay, a couple of things. First of all, this was a high spot for the show. I enjoyed this part of the show. Second of all, Nika, what are you doing in Shield Oath the entire time?
Oh my god. Are we really going to have this discussion again? If you have never done a fight before and your healers don't know the mechanics and you don't know where the tank busters are, you should not be in Sword Art or you're going to die.
Wait, why don't you know where the tank busters are?
Because
Don't
it
you
was
watch
the
your
first
husband?
time doing
Don't
it.
you watch your husband's videos on how to do it?
Oh my god. Stop. Do not start these rumors. I don't need these in my life. Please. I don't need this.
Do your job.
Do your job.
I bet if Mr. Happy New didn't watch his videos, he'd be really upset about that. You should support him.
Look, I don't understand why you would ever be in Shield Oath all the time.
Okay, please go do a raid. Don't use tank stance, and I want to see how long you live. Good luck. Good luck.
Nika, if you had good healers, you would.
I know,
stay
right?
alive.
Yeah. I mean, it's called
God.
stance dancing for a reason. I mean, it's just not supposed to be all the time. I can't believe I'm having to explain this to you as a level 64.
What? Well, once I learn and memorize the fight, which now I do with the first one. So
Oh,
now
just
I can
learn
start
and
to
memorize
figure-
your fucking job, Nika.
That's what I'm doing. God damn it. Juxta, where's my iron curtain?
I can't back you on full 100% tank stance, Nika.
For the first time you ever are clearing, you can't back that?
He's never cleared before, so no, of course he would beg.
See, now that I know the fight and know where all the mechanics are, I can switch out and not die.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. Tell us a little bit more about your feelings about this new healer.
Oh my god. How did we go there? Again, I thought you were supposed to critique our presentation of the show, not my opinions. Like,
Tell that to fucking Reddit.
Called it.
Since you have a line of communication with him and I don't.
Plus, it's not often. It's not often we get to critique your opinions because Aniero's always stifling them.
That's right.
God.
How could we have time?
My opinions and words are so stifled. I feel so sad.
Are you even trying?
No.
Let's hit up the next clip here.
Like, why isn't your group going in and walking through those paths and killing those trash and leading up to a boss?
Like, why isn't that like just like a zone? You know, like how hard would that have been just to have like, you know, hell, you could even have like alternate dimensions of like different creatures fighting and shit around you. Like,
that would be too much development. Instead, there's a black space around us.
No, but I mean, like
it could just be.
Okay, all right.
I heard that.
You know, the production, like, I'm sorry, it's so hard to listen to this because of all the background noise.
No, that was mostly us talking over each other because we are not in the same room. We cannot see when someone starts to talk, so then one person stops and then the other person stops, so then we both start at the same time and then we both stop again. That comes with the territory of not being in the same room, which, by the way, is a benefit to LBR fucking Reddit. But regardless... Like, that's just what happens.
By the way, Kahlo, you are super guilty of this when you are not in the studio.
Yeah.
You are the worst.
It's hard.
You are the worst about this.
Are you mental?
Well, that's because my opinion's better than everyone else's.
Oh, God damn it.
So they should shut up.
It's probably not. But anyway, all right, let's move on to the second episode, because I feel like
I don't know. We're getting pretty close to the end of the show here. We should probably read a fan fiction.
No.
Yeah, we have another show.
Scalia isn't even here.
Yeah. That's and you know what? He saw the writing on the wall and he was like, I do not need to be here.
All right, I guess I'm gonna have to try and mount a defense for Scalia.
So in all, basically episode 121, total success.
I'd give it
another victory for America.
I'd give it a C+. Nah, B-.
Fuck yeah, I'll take that. B-. All right.
B-,
That's
guys.
passing, bro.
All right. Let's check out episode 122.
All right.
Erotica abound.
I think just for consistency, I also marked the intro read that was done for this show. So let's hear the very beginning.
Welcome to Limit Break Radio, live to you from Eorzea. We're back in our Eorzean studio, right?
Yes.
Yes.
I am.
Oh, okay.
I am. Are you?
Are
you not looking? Like, do you not know? Where are you at?
I don't know. Let's kick it over to the studio and see where I'm at. I'm in the studio.
Oh my God! Stop. Pause.
It was cute.
No, it wasn't. That was a setup that went nowhere.
In Ascalia's defense, okay? He was born a man, but also wants to be a woman, and he probably takes medications that mess with the way that he thinks, so it's really hard for him to keep things, where they're supposed to be.
Okay.
That's the best I got. It's the best I got. I'm sorry, Ascali, if you're listening to this.
I mean...
Hey, asshole! You guys suck!
I don't know what to do with that statement exactly.
Okay, you know what? Fine.
I feel like he's being defensive right off the rip.
Who?
Kahlo.
Okay, fair. The dismount on into the start could have been a little bit better. Maybe.
That was rough.
If we would have had Skuro on to do it, it would have been better.
At least he had the opening cadence right. Like, he started strong.
Had confidence.
But then he was like, we're in our studio, I guess, right? Like, you're the one who's presenting this. Like, who exactly are you fucking asking?
This is your stream. You know exactly where you are.
You're going to be showing people in literally 5 seconds. It's the next thing that you fucking say. Why? Oh, my God.
He shouldn't be your hero.
I understand that, like, hosting a show like this, you can get tongue-tied. You may not know where to go next. It happens to me all the fucking time. Generally, when it happens, I go, yeah, but where were we? There's a little bit of vocal stops and pauses that happen before we get there. But he says something that makes no sense in the first 7 words of the fucking show, and then exposes how much it makes no sense in 5 seconds after he finishes the statement.
I just love the number 6 for no reason.
What the fuck? And this is hang on, Reddit, I need to go back to you. This is better than our normal shows? Really? Really?
This episode only gets worse.
No,
really?
It's because there's not a 4 to 7 minute rant.
No. You could have benefited from a 4 to 7 minute rant, god damn it!
I don't know about that.
Anyway.
Fine. Awkward dismount, but it gets better. Okay.
All right, go on to clip 2.
Clip 2, okay.
Hold on, they changed Streamlabs. How do I get the stupid donation window up now?
I couldn't figure it out either. So I just opened my own OBS client so the donations will pop up that way.
That's my bad. That's my bad.
You go to Streamlabs, you hit widgets, you go under there to alert box, and
it's
then
not
you click
there.
Launch. Yes, it is.
There's no launch button. I don't see a launch button.
Make your window be.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I don't know why Callow didn't just post this in the host chat, to be fair, and we could have done it that way, but he brought it to the air. So
there's actually a specific reason.
All of you. I blame fucking all of you for this.
I handled it okay.
I was going to say, look, you're 100% right on this. This was all of us fucking up, right? But I actually had a reason for doing this. I wanted to give Juxta a chance to sort of prove himself and maybe gain a little bit of traction with our listeners, so... You handled it well.
No,
good job.
No,
What?
you.
That is
fucking
trying to save yourself response.
You can't prove it. You can't prove it.
You
can't prove it.
You were
prove that it was
unprepared.
shitty
You were
and terrible.
You were unprepared for the show. You did not have the donation box open, which we know that if we're doing the show over Skype or if you're just basically not in the studio, you need to have that open. And
agreed.
And you did not need to have our dumbest member of the cast explain how to open this box to the two of you.
But
the both of you.
Streamlabs
Were
was
you
changed,
proud?
though.
Shame on you.
You used to not have to click on the widget to make the launch button appear. It used to just be there.
Shame on
you. They changed it and it was
Shame.
confusing.
Aniero, true or false, Juxta impressed you because he knew how to do it.
Shame.
No.
Shame.
No.
Shame.
That is false.
We get it. Stop.
Shame.
Shut the fuck up. God damn it.
You're muted.
How is it? Yeah, I hit the mute button and it's like...
And then he has to say it
It doesn't even continue in the background, right? Like, it's just like, he's like, oh, I give up.
If you drop the mute, then what's the point?
You're like the worst at this.
Ask your ball.
I will. Maybe it'll give me some tangible responses.
You have no balls.
I have plenty of balls.
He sent them to Guildworks one time.
That's right. I Xeroxed them and sent them to Guildworks. By the way, for any of our fans that would go to Reddit to get feedback on the show or to discuss the show in any way, like why? Like there's Guildwork is maybe the only community that like openly doesn't like me as much as our FFXIV. Like, why would you think that you would get a fair opinion going there.
I am sure that fan knew exactly what they were doing.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. By the way, if you want to give us a call, Limit Break Radio on Skype, 810-515-8715, limitbreakradio.com/Discord. We'd love to hear from you. What did you think of the last two shows? Feel free to call up and, tell me how much you missed me, how much better the show is now that I'm back, and how terrible the previous two shows were.
Kidding, obviously.
We'd love to hear from you. Limit Break Radio on Skype, 810-515-8715, limitbreakradio.com/Discord. All right, let's go on to our next clip.
It's pants time.
Yeah.
Or lack thereof.
I'm not wearing a shirt.
All right, now
Okay.
I guess it's going to be news time.
All right.
Okay.
Is a Limit Breaking News update.
You can stop. You can stop. I actually do want to compliment you guys. That was not bad. I got a little chuckle out of that. That was a good abrupt setup for that news sounder.
Really?
Yeah. I actually kind of like that.
Are you
You're
lying?
complimenting?
Yeah. No. That was okay.
He's gonna fake us out, guys.
Yeah, he's
hold
lying.
strong.
No, that was kind of okay. You guys did okay on that one.
The door.
Hold.
You can move on to the next clip.
Oh.
That's all I had to say.
Oh.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was not bad.
That was a Braveheart reference.
Show is 1,000 times better without that loud, fat imbecile Aniero and his girlfriend Kahlo.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So you guys reading plenty of YouTube comments on that episode. I particularly like that one because it was funny. It was funny.
It rips you guys.
It was funny. Yeah. Like that wasn't bad. That wasn't bad. You can tell that was written by someone who actually does enjoy the show. And it's like one of the Twitter phenomenons where you'll have someone who talks ungodly shit, like Cast. Like Cast does this. Talks ungodly shit, and then when you call them on it, they're like, "Oh man, I really love your show. It's my favorite." That's right, Cast.
Yeah.
I know you. Anyway, that was okay. The reading of YouTube comments was okay. I do want to respond to the YouTube comment. I'll take a couple.
That's the real reason he included this clip.
Yeah, because like, where's the criticism gone? Oh, he just wants to get on his high horse and have a 4 to 7 minute rant about this.
Before you do, I do want to point out that is 2 clips now for me and Ascalia's show that he actually likes stuff, and there's only 1 clip in yours that he did. So,
God,
just
this is not a contest. We were on the show too.
No.
Hello, me and Justin were on this show too. It's all of us.
What are you talking about? This is the show I hosted.
So
yeah.
So first of all, I'm like one of the least fat members of this crew. Like, where do you get off calling me fat? Yeah, I said it.
Well,
anyway, fat loudmouth is that was the criticism, right? Yeah.
Maybe he just means your mouth is fat.
Maybe
fat mouthed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
Which when
Also,
he
I'm
doesn't
trying
have
to
his
figure out-
beard, you can tell.
I do. I've got the whole double chin going on.
I'm trying to figure out why they were insulting Callow by calling him Aniero's girlfriend, though. Like, what's wrong with being a girl? Like, come on. Girls are awesome.
Because
Come on.
This guy's personality, like, he's definitely not a catch.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, that's where the insult comes from.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Gotcha.
I see what you're doing. Anyway, go fuck yourself. Anyway, go on.
I want to respond to this.
That's all I had to say.
yourself.
Yeah, go fuck yourself. Go on. Go on.
Oh, wait. Kylo just said he wanted to respond to it.
Oh, I was mimicking Aniero.
Okay. So
Go on.
Like a good girlfriend should.
Go on.
Let's see, Vishan, so much this. I get that Aniero runs the shit, so they can't just dump him, but this felt like a much more chill and laid-back stream without the telltale screeching of, "Oh my God, Square-Enix sucks my FFXI ball!"
Hang on. I have an FFXI ball?
Bah. B with a capital B, capital A's, like 5 of them, and then capital W's, like 6.
What's an FFXI ball?
I think it's more like a cry.
Oh.
That was Juxa attempting to read a
Like,
natural voice and failing miserably,
Kind of like
everything he
humbug,
reads.
but without the humbug part. Just bah.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean...
I don't think that's what it was at all, actually.
Well, no, I was trying to clarify what an FFXI ball was. I was not.
I mean, you have one FFXI ball and one FFXIV ball, right?
I mean, that would make sense, right?
Do you have a
and you just
crystal
suck
ball?
whatever one you're like going off on at that moment.
I mean, I do have a crystal ball somewhere.
A crystal ball?
I can only assume that's a Twin Peaks reference, and no one's getting it.
No, it's not a Twin Peaks reference. I was trying to set you up. I was trying to set you up for the fucking drops.
No.
And instead you stonewall me like a goddamn
because
idiot.
We're making dick jokes like apparently all LBR is good for, and you were trying to pull some other bullshit.
Remember, he has that other program up, so he'd have to switch back over to drops, and it's too much for him.
He has 2 monitors over there. Don't give me that fucking cock shit.
Too much for him.
Ask your ball.
There, thank you. See? Anyway.
Next clip or continue this clip?
No, I think we're just going to hang on this one awkwardly for a few more minutes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, next clip.
Oh, see? You got why.
Juxta, I heard you're having a baby. Guess what, Ferget? It's not yours because you're so fat. The sperm are too big to even impregnate a chick.
This is
okay. Yeah. All right. This may have been the highlight. This may have been the highlight of both shows. This made me laugh out loud when I heard it.
And we had multiple references back to this comment too.
And in fact, I actually bailed out after this comment because I was like, "There's no way it gets better than this." I stopped listening to the live show because I was like, "This is the pinnacle of what this could possibly produce." That was great. I'm glad that you guys picked that specific comment to read on the
really
show.
That's how they wrote it too.
Impregnate.
Impregnate.
Yes.
Your sperm is too fat.
I just imagine, like the human beings from WALL-E, right? How they're like moved around in those motorized chairs. That's how I see Juxta being able to produce sperm. It's like there's like 4 sperm going out every ejaculate, and it's just like 4 of them on chairs just going lazily like, yeah, I guess. Whatever.
Oh
You're an
one of them made it.
inspiration for birth control.
You really are. I mean, if anyone needs more of a reason to wrap their willy, like, just look at Juxta and the fact that he's going to be a father.
Juxta!
What's up?
Your baby shower.
Oh, womp womp. Did I miss that? Was that part of the show that I missed?
No, we were going to do it today.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
We don't have time.
I burnt all the time complaining about, talking about myself.
It's 7 o'clock already.
Time flies when you're being roasted by
baby
Aniero.
Juxta. Yay, woo, cheer, hooray.
That's clearly not how baby showers go, Nika. You would know if you were girl enough to go to one, but you aren't because you're a big, dumb, not girl.
What? I've been to plenty of people.
I doubt it.
I bet Mr. Happy doesn't let her go because then she'll want to have a baby with him.
Oh my God. Fuck you. Get out.
The fact that it's bothering her is my favorite part of it. Mm-hmm. Like, honestly.
I just don't need these rumors in my life. I've already got like 87 children. Now I don't need to be married to Mr. Happy. Like, this is just, I don't need this. We're done. The end. Goodbye.
I somehow this is gonna like this rumor or like this joke is gonna come back in like 2 years.
It is,
and people are gonna take it with 100% serious, like at face value.
One person is going to go and mention this on a State of the Realm, and Mr. Happy's going to pick it up, and then that's going to like proliferate it all through his fandom, and then it's over from there.
Yeah.
God damn it! I hate you.
Good. Anyway, I feel like we've got a couple more clips that we could go through here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bring back Aniero.
Yeah, there. Okay. Perfect. Done.
God damn it.
Done.
We need context.
Done.
We can if Aniero decided we were more important than Twin Peaks.
2 weeks out. You know what? We're done making excuses for him. We were just going to make an excuse every weekend why he's not here. He died, guys.
What?
There we go. Okay. You know what?
Yeah. Let's end on
that's not a bad rumor.
Yeah,
that's
dead.
pretty good.
You've already died though.
Yeah, Twitter already had that rumor.
Did they?
Yeah, you committed suicide once, remember?
Oh yeah.
I think that was the week after you and Susan got together, so I can see why. She probably broke up with you.
Yeah. That's right. My broken heart.
Yeah.
God damn it. People are fucking stupid. No, I agree with the first part of that. Bring back Aniero. Well, I'm back.
Well, we did.
Yeah.
And look what we got. Junk.
Whatever this is.
A 15% boost in the amount of people who are listening and downloading?
Actually, right now, there are 5 less people listening than there were at the end of the last episode.
Yeah, and we had like 180 for most of the show, so I would say it's not a boost.
Yeah.
Actually, according to our download numbers, you guys are a third behind where we would normally be for episodes.
What about my rating episode?
It is, and in terms of time spent listening, which is the real metric that you want to be paying attention to, it decreased by 47%.
Which one? The second one?
Roughly both of them.
I don't blame him for the second one. That was just a giant erotic episode that I hated being a part of.
It was pretty great.
Shut up.
So
I thought you were trying to defend how good we did.
Nope.
So here's the thing is that, if all of these things that Reddit were trying to pass off were true about how the majority of people who listen to the show don't want me on anymore, you think that we would see a bigger hit to our numbers, don't you think? Or that your guys' show should not be underperforming but should be overperforming our expectations, right? Like if you were to follow if you're following Reddit's logic,
it's just because the people don't know about the wonderful shows that I was on and you weren't.
Yeah, there was a lot of people that said they didn't realize that you weren't there, and then they were going to go listen. Whether or not they actually did is another story. But
they didn't.
They didn't know, so they didn't tune in.
Let me tell you, the numbers tell me that they didn't. It did not translate to people actually going and watching the show in greater numbers.
Well, your numbers are dumb.
No, they're accurate.
That's why they're dumb.
Keep in mind also there's only 300 and something comments, so that's only 300 people, which isn't a significant increase in number. You have to spread the word more.
As soon as Nika's husband spreads the word on to his followers, we'll be fine.
It's because the dumbass OP didn't include a link as well.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah.
Stupid son of a bitch.
That's why.
And it's too much effort for people to go and search for the episode on their own.
Well,
no one does that.
No, yeah. I think the mandate is clear. There are more people who listen and engage with this show when I'm on it, which means that people always want me to be around.
Yeah, you can't look away from a good car
I can never quit this show.
How does that make you feel?
Kind of sad. Anyway, let's do 2 more clips.
Okay.
How many more do we have?
I don't know. I picked out a bunch for each show. Okay. So let's just do 2.
So I was
2
thinking
more.
the other day, like, what would be a good show topic? And then I slowly came up with the idea of what would Eorzea's top 14 relationships that need to happen in Stormblood be?
Stop.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you guys doing to my show? What the fuck are you doing?
Episode. It was great.
What are you doing to my show?
Again,
fucking ships? Really?
We looked at Reddit and we see what gets upvotes and decided that people wanted smut. So that's what we did.
This can actually be traced back to Ascalia. He's the reason. I'm like, Ascalia, what haven't we done in a show for a while? He's like, top 14 lists. And then Jux was like, let's ship people.
I love it.
I handled it okay.
This was
I just
awful.
opened my mouth and out it came.
This was awful.
Get the fuck out. This was
Wait,
awesome.
I thought you didn't listen past the Jugta and Pregnates.
This
said live.
This is what.
Live.
Yeah, this is where I bailed.
Oh, okay.
This is where I bailed, and it became.
I give it a 10.
It became too cringy for me to listen to.
Yep, it became very cringy for me to be there. I almost committed suicide on air.
Oh, why didn't you?
I was close.
That would have
Next
actually,
time.
you know what? That would have probably made up for the amount of people that weren't watching that because I wasn't there.
Except the problem is, I would have just went quiet. They would have just thought I left.
You were having fun with it too. You were into it.
Nah.
I saw you moving your hand around on the camera.
There were no cameras for this show.
It's not for the show. I have cameras in your room.
Go away.
Anyway.
Oh, well, that's creepy.
Yeah. So, way to set up the topic.
Yeah, thank you.
It was awful.
No, it was
like,
great.
Totally my idea. Let's do a list of this. Yay.
Yeah. How else do you need to get into it?
I mean, you're stealing my bit of stealing the credit from everyone else's stuff. Like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the bit. Stealing the credit of.
Quit fucking stealing my bits.
No.
Yeah.
If they work, then they work.
It just sounds like a cheap imitation of everything that I've done with this show so far.
Yeah, but I do it good.
Stop trying to be daddy.
Yeah.
Trying to get beat.
Wait.
By
All right, last one. Then I'll give you my final grade.
Yells and yelled out to him in some sort of down under sort of way. Oh God, I can't do that voice.
Down under, let's hear it. Be an Australian?
No, that's not what I can do.
Think crocodile hunter.
No.
Just think British, but a little different.
Just do British. They're basically the same.
Okay. Shit, I don't know that voice either.
Pip, pip, cheerio. Come on, Governor.
Pip, pip. Boy, why not join our network of dreams, huh?
I love it. I love it. I love it.
First of all, if you don't have a voice for something, don't admit it. Just move on. Don't do the voice and just move on. Second of all you need is one key phrase and you'll be able to do any accent, right? You just need one key phrase in that accent. For Australian, it's really easy. Crocky! That's all you need. That's all you need, and then you're into the fucking accent. If you got crocky, you'll be able to find the rest. And he just didn't even try. You had to provide him with the pip pip cheerio to get him somewhere close to English, and that just sounded like I don't even know what that was.
Oliver Twist.
Junk.
No, fucking he was nowhere near Victorian.
It's all the same.
Oh my God!
By the way, when you do that,
I wish he was here so I could yell at him.
When you do that around actual British people, they get really upset.
What? Tell them that Australians and British people sound exactly the same.
Or if you try and do a British accent, like they're like, all Americans think that the way that Bart Simpson talks when he's British is how all British people talk. I get that a lot.
I'm pretty sure I've watched enough Monty Python to be able to.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, right.
The British don't think so.
The British are fucking stupid.
I agree.
They had an entire empire and lost it. Why would you take their word for it?
Yep. No, I agree.
Stupid British. All right. I think that's going to do it for my peer review.
So the episode with Kahlo and Ascalia helping out, quote unquote. What's your grade for that, almighty dad?
D+.
That's what I thought.
Still passing.
Barely.
Not really.
Barely.
D+ is passing.
You guys got a show on the air. I'll give you that.
Fair.
Yeah, we could have canceled when we didn't. So instead, we just had a smut episode and everybody loved it.
You were able to get to the 3 hours. I'll give you that.
Barely.
I'm almost proud.
That was definitely a barely.
I think the wheel went on like 10 minutes too long, so that could happen.
30 minutes too long. I kept looking at the clock and I'm like, we're not gonna make it. Shit, we're not gonna make it.
And how many different discussion points did we have prepped for today? Like 4, 5?
2.
No. We used 2.
12.
Oh, you mean total? Yeah, quite a few.
Yeah.
9.
Mm-hmm. And we only used 2. Mm-hmm. What does that tell you?
That Aniero likes to rant.
I like to talk about myself.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, because this air check was more about you than about actually giving us criticism.
Shut up, Mika.
Half the second episode, definitely.
That Ascalia is an albatross that we have around our necks.
Listen, you guys.
What?
Listen, you guys have you got to figure out what to do with them. I'm washing my hands of this situation. I'm not going to be on this goddamn show anymore. Reddit doesn't want me here.
You
Clearly,
just got done telling us that you can't go anywhere anymore.
I know.
Man, so not cool.
But that's
nobody wants me.
That's the swerve at the end of the show. This is my last show.
Why do you get to quit?
I'm not quitting.
Oh, damn! That means I can't either. You sure you don't want to reconsider?
So he's like, no, don't quit. Wait, please quit. No.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. On to just bring this full circle, and to actually talk about the the state of where we all are.
Failing podcast.
In terms of our connection to FF14, because I think that has a greater impact on our connection to the show than just sentiment around the show. All of us, I think, very much love doing this show.
Mm-hmm.
That regardless of how much we are enamored with FF14 as a game at any current point, that doing this show with each other and in front of the audience that we have is the thing that keeps us coming back every week.
That is paramount.
And that if you remove one of those elements permanently, even if it is your personal least favorite element of the show, whether that be me or whether that be Drops or Juxta, whatever it is, the mean element of the show, the contentiousness, the callers, there's a lot of things that people could complain about for this show. I mean, they choose me a lot, but there's a lot of different things that you could take issue with. The point is that we do this show with each other for the audience that we've cultivated, and we know where the feedback comes from. And the honest, like, I know that I made fun of you guys about the numbers, and there's some truth to that a little bit, that, you know, the last two shows, you know, you guys kept the engines running. Like, that's great, and that's awesome. And while they may not have done gangbuster numbers, and they haven't, you know, done better than shows previous to that, that you guys did a very admirable job of being able to keep this show going and moving forward. And that if I was going to quit this show, that I would be very comfortable leaving it in your guys' hands.
Aww.
But the thing that has been made abundantly clear to me, and I'm going to ask that you guys share your actual feelings on this, and because I can say it, and if it's only ever coming from me, it does look like you guys are, you know, like have Stockholm syndrome or something. But that
I'm not denying that I don't have that.
That maybe you do a little bit, more than everyone else. No, but that it's essentially been expressed to me internally that if we change the group comp on the show, that there is a good chance that there would be more than just one person leaving in that exodus, and that would pretty irreparably change the format of this show. Right, you know, I mean, of course, any change in hosts would be a change in dynamic.
Yes.
And that goes without saying, but that this idea that you can just have Limit Break Radio sans Aniero.
No, it doesn't work. Look,
I think that's difficult to do for a variety of reasons.
What's going to be really great about this episode, right? Because, you know, we're wrapping it up here now. We've still had above the 200 mark in audience, which is what we normally have in an episode.
We're at 193. Don't lie to the fucking people.
Okay, sorry.
We had
it
200.
dipped at the end. But usually for the majority, we're above the 200 mark, right? This wasn't even a Final Fantasy XIV episode.
This was an episode all about us.
This was an episode about Limit Break Radio, and I think that's very
gotcha,
apt.
Idiot. Moron.
That's very apt, because you're right. We don't do this show for Final Fantasy XIV. We do this show for ourselves first and for our fans second. And so if any one of us were to permanently leave, with except the exception of Escalia, because it doesn't bring anything to the show,
right?
Then it would
he does.
Okay,
too.
fine, and Nika, because no one likes her.
All right, fine. Escalia brings the trans shield. That's it.
All right, that's fair. But if any one of us were to leave permanently, it wouldn't just change the dynamic on the show. It would change the show itself for the rest of us. Something would be missing, and I think that as a result, that would probably cause like a domino effect.
Not just that, but I mean, like, when we brought the show back, first of all, we knew what we were doing. You know, setting out for infamy instead of to be everyone, instead of to be everyone's friend, which is, I think that's an impossible task. You're never going to please 100% of the people 100% of the time. And so not even having the pretense of trying to cater to the people who complain about the show, no matter what it does, positive, negative, no matter what, they're going to complain. Knowing that and embracing that has really been a not a background construction, but a very, very much a foreground construction of this show. And that has continued on from the day we started to right now. We've always known, always, since bringing this back, because of our previous history with FF11, that there was an expiration date on Limit Break Radio. We knew that. Mm-hmm. We've always known that. And the thing about it is that, you know, you got to be really sure if you're going to pull that fucking ripcord, first of all. And the second thing is, I mean, this is an online game. It receives updates. It will change. Whether that's for the good or the bad is up for the community to decide. But trying to say that this show has no place in the community, that the opinions or discussions that are held within this show have no place in FF14, I think is very disingenuous. Not just to the work and effort that I put in on this show, but the work and effort that you guys put in on this show. The work and effort that callers make to call into this show and have a variety of opinions and express a variety of opinions. I mean, to discount the show is to really discount your ability to sound off and to call in to the show. And again, this is a show that was built with more long-term sustainability than just FF14. FF14 won't be around forever. I mean, maybe the servers will be up for a very, very long time, but just like with FF11, our interest in this game is going to eventually end up bottoming out. There's no way to avoid that. There's just no way. I'm sorry. It happens. And because we knew that, you know, that's why we went to such great lengths to start Final Encounter Cast, to get Checkpoint Radio up and running. While we had the opportunity, not after the opportunity had already passed us, and we would have to work that much harder to be able to convince you guys that we're worth investing in. We've diversified our content in a very, very smart way to be able to say we're building something here that if you like the personalities on the show, you're going to be able to enjoy long past your enjoyment of FF14.
What that means for you, Reddit, is that if the day comes where Limit Break Radio dies out and we stop doing it, we're still going to be living on through Final Encounter Cast and Checkpoint Radio. So checkmate, bitches.
Not just that. Not just that. But we exit on our own terms. Not just me, not just anyone else associated with this show. The show as a whole. We've identified that there's a good chance that if one of us fell, most of the rest of the crew would fall. And if we ended this show, it would absolutely be on our fucking terms.
Like not Friends season finale.
Not Reddit's. Not the official forums. Not fucking guild work. On our terms. Not because there's a section of the audience that thinks, oh, well, this show's dumb anymore. If you really fucking think that, just save your breath. Save your time. Vote with your feet. Don't listen. That's what sends the clearest message.
Yeah, get our name out your mouth.
When our numbers actually take a hit, that's what we pay attention to. So if you don't care, don't listen. It's pretty simple. It's a pretty simple equation. I mean, I haven't made this a mystery. I've said this on other shows where people have taken issue with us. Stop listening.
They keep coming back.
I know. Or they hate listen. And then they respond more.
Oh, hate listen's the best.
And that yes, it is the best. You guys are doing active promotion for us. 200, 300 comments. There's no way that I could have said, hey, check out what's on this week on LBR on Reddit and gotten that many responses. It would have been buried. We stayed at the top of Reddit for like 2.5 days, even if it was shitty. Where's Mog Talk sitting at the top of Reddit for 2.5 days?
They're in our Reddit thread somewhere.
All right. Where's the evaluation on Mr. Happy's videos in Stormblood?
Also somewhere in our Reddit.
Yeah, there was a whole discussion about those both of them.
This is such a bullshit straw man argument that look, I've seen this happen before. You don't do this for, going on 12 years without seeing this happen, not just to yourself, but to other fucking people. And if you think I'm down to repeat their mistakes, oh, you're fucking wrong. But that's what people enjoy about this show. is that this is a show on our terms. Even with our donors, even with our Patreon members, we have been absolutely fucking clear that buying into the show or donating to the show does not give you an editorial voice.
Just ensures that we keep going.
It just, yes, exactly. It ensures that we're able to keep doing what we do. That's it. That's it. And if you don't like what we're doing, take your money. It's fine. We'll figure out how to do it without you. I cannot say the same thing to any of my hosts.
No, you summed it up pretty well.
I can't. I can't say that. I can't say, go do something else. We'll figure this out without you. And I won't. These are 4 people, 5 including Kooky. 5 people who I have trusted as business partners and as friends. This divide and conquer strategy that Reddit wants to seem to employ to get 2 of you to break off and form your own show.
And this is not the first time they've tried this.
It's not the first time that this has been tried either.
Like our other brother thread too, they were saying things like, "Hey Nika, if I can lead you to a battered waifu shelter if you need help." Like,
I remember that.
I mean, it's a little bit more patronizing, but
a little bit. But
the she is a woman and can't think for herself.
Clearly, I am here because I am being forced and call help.
But let me mansplain to you why you hate yourself.
But yeah, look, for as much as we play up that we disagree or that we don't like each other here on the show, there's literally no one I'd rather do this with. That's why
almost choked on your words there.
I did. That's why all of the projects that I've done afterwards have been with them. I don't want to work with anyone else. I just don't. And that's the truth. Is that I work very well with this group of folks. They understand and tolerate my bullshit to an extent that most other people will not.
That is so true. That is so true.
Yep. Understatement of the year.
The amount of times I've saved Skuro's ass. Like, you guys don't even know.
You have jumped in front of that bullet more than a few times.
Skuro, you have no idea how many times he's legitimately wanted to get rid of you.
That I've and wanted to really yell at you for a while too.
Yeah. You're lucky, buddy.
Yeah, that divide and conquer thing is horseshit. It has never worked. It will not continue to work. You know what? I can't blame you for trying though. It's worked for other shows. It's worked against other projects. It's not to say that there's no validity to it, but
worked with the Beatles.
I think you've got to try a whole lot fucking harder with us. Like if that's what you really, if you want to try to sow the seeds of discontent, you're gonna have to wake up way earlier than you're currently waking up, motherfucker. Come on, Reddit. I know you can do better than this.
They really
gotta bring us some Yoko Ono type shit here.
Okay, I actually will believe that they can't do better. All right, I think we got to wrap it up. We've burned 3 hours. We don't have to do the baby shower today, so that's good.
Whatever, you bitch!
We can't do it next week because Nika's not going to be here, and you have to have the girl at the baby shower.
We have Escalia.
He's only half a girl sometimes.
Nika's only half a girl all the time.
What's the other half?
Rogadin.
Yeah, hell yeah. Speaking of next week, if you're at Otakon, say hi to me, 'cause that's where I'm going to be. Yeah.
Yes, go say hi to your new favorite main host from Limit Break Radio out at Otakon,
Mrs. Happy. I'm a douche nozzle in person, so I want you to come and see that for a fact, I guess. I don't know.
Please look for Mrs. Happy.
Oh, God.
I mean, if you needed to know anything about that thread, it's that, they said that we were rude at FanFest.
But, yeah, I don't even...
Where did that come from? Where did that notion come from? We were
douche nozzle at FanFest, and then a lack of knowledge on a show means we're douche nozzles now, too.
I bet that there was...
That doesn't even correlate.
I bet what it was is one person saw us, was trying to get our attention, like waiting patiently to talk to us, and we walked off because they didn't say anything, and they're like, wow, what a bunch of douche nozzles.
Probably.
Is this person in the chat saying Babygate, it's all a ploy? Like, are they trying to say that we're making up that Juxta's having a baby
That's fucking real.
Like,
he
why?
totally is. He
Why?
totally
First of
is.
all, we haven't tried to exploit that. We haven't said give us your money because we need to pay for diapers or something.
Yeah, like my babies might be jokes, but this one's not.
Although
yeah,
if you do
no,
want,
it's not.
If you do want to know my Amazon wish list, just get a hold of me after the show.
Oh my god!
The reason
God
I
damn it.
moved out was because they needed a nursery. What the fuck that means?
It's got like Mario theme.
Yeah.
It's 8-bit. It's cool.
It is really cute. I've seen the pictures. It's adorable.
Anyway.
Unlike his baby
I just
will
spent like a half an hour before driving up here putting together something called a play in place or what the fuck is it? A play in place, yeah. And
what is that?
It's like a portable baby prison. Like you put the baby in there, and then they can't get anywhere, and then you're just free to do whatever the fuck you want.
Just a playpen?
Yeah, basically.
Oh, okay, yeah, baby prison.
And these things are fucking. Okay, if you thought IKEA was hard to do, which it's not, this is actually hard, and I got really mad, and I yelled, and I stormed off and went into the shower to cool off. I almost punched a hole in the wall.
Future dad.
And he's going to be a father.
Future dad. Anyway, yeah, we'll get to that coming up on an episode, I'm sure. I guess you guys, it gives you the audience.
Pack and play, that's what it's called. Yeah.
It gives you audience members time to buy Juxta baby shower present if you want. I don't know why you would.
We need more Wubba Nubs. There's a dinosaur one that looks really cool.
Fuck is a Wubba Nub?
I know what that is. That's from music, right?
No. What? Get the fuck out of here.
No, I see what you did there. High five.
It's like a pacifier that's like attached to like a little stuffed animal thing. And
oh, those are so cute.
Yeah. But apparently babies can like tell the difference or something. My nephew.
Can we end the show, please?
No,
Yeah,
my nephew.
I mean, I need to go eat dinner, so.
Mute Juxta.
No. My nephew has like 4 or 5 different ones, but he cannot stand pupper.
Doesn't like the doggo.
No, he doesn't like doggo, but he likes lion and
Is there a
lamb.
That's it. You know what, Juxta? You're being played off the stage. It's time for you to shut the fuck up about baby things. I want to thank everyone for joining us here on Limit Break Radio today. Thank you so much. LimitBreakRadio.com, twitch.tv/LimitBreakRadio. Join us in a couple of weeks where we talk about Juxta's stupid baby.
Yeah!
And other things.
Cute
yeah. No, stupid. Anyway, thanks for joining us. I appreciate everyone's time today. For my crew, Kahlo Landis, Juxtaposition, even though he's not here, Callie, whatever his last name is.
Escalia. Ryu Masa.
Nika Kayanian. I'm Aniero. Keep listening. Limit Break Radio is a production of LimitBreakRadio.com and Bender Media Productions. This episode was produced by Kahlo Landis. Final Fantasy XIV and Eorzea are trademarks of Square-Enix. Funding for Limit Break Radio is provided by Miri Kennett, Satori Komeji, Dark Flux, Null Packet, Shira Heartslot, Nexian Theta, Brian Alexander, Tommy Carlson, and fellow Limit Break Radio listeners. To support Limit Break Radio, visit patreon.com/Limit Break Radio. Opening music in this episode from Daniel Lambie. Listen to Man with the Machine Gun and other great tracks at facebook.com/Daniel Lambie Metal Gamer. Closing music in this episode provided by Husky by the Geek. Listen to this and other great Final Fantasy XIV and video game rock covers and original music at facebook.com/Husky by the Geek. In-game graphics for Limit Break Radio's Twitch stream are provided by Diamond Multimedia. Check out their line of AMD graphics cards and other hardware at diamondmm.com. Limit Break Radio and its hosts are solely responsible for its content. Hey guys, thanks so much for tuning in to episode 123 of Limit Break Radio. Coming up next, we got the latest episode